windows each year for the past 8 years. That's a lot of satisfied customers, and you can be one too. Save money on installing new energy-efficient windows and save on your energy bills too. You can't lose. And if anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows ever, Window World and I will be there to make it right. Call Window World today or see them online and have them come and give you a free estimate and see why we are so proud of our products and the work we do for our customers. Call Window World or go online at windowworldneflorida.com. And thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. Tonight is the tip-off of the college basketball season. Jordan Mincy and the JU Dolphins will host Johnson tonight at historic Swisher Gymnasium. Tip-off at 7 with pregame coverage beginning at 6:45 on the 1010 AM stream. For the first time since 2012, UNF men's basketball will open the season at home. Matthew Driscoll and the Ospreys tip off against Coastal Georgia tonight at 7 o'clock. Todd Golden and the Gators men's basketball team will begin their season at home against Loyola, Maryland. Tip off at 8 o'clock with pregame coverage beginning at 7 on 1010 AM. It's 79 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Frank, Hayes, Lauren, and RJ, The Frangie Show starts now on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, welcome in. We're glad you're along for the ride on this Monday installment of the program. Our Monday Live today from Atlantic Beach Country Club, scene of the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida, 8th Annual Mackenzie's Beaches Boys and Girls Club Golf Tournament. They do a great job out here, and we're always honored to be part of it. We've been out here for many, many years now doing this in the fall, and we're glad to be here as part of this event. And as always, we thank our friends for the Best Bet. The Best Bet always a sponsor on a Monday edition of the program. Man, it's a gorgeous day out here, Carline. Is it beautiful or what?
It's gorgeous. Love being out here.
I mean, this is really
It's hard
nice.
To believe a year's gone by.
I know it. It really has.
It feels like just the other day we were talking to Arden Key over there. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
that's right.
It's hard to believe.
It is a beautiful day out here. I mean, it's a gorgeous day. Lauren Brooks has the week off. She's camping, I believe. I know she's camping at some point this week, and so she'll be back in. But RJ back at World Headquarters, and Hayes and I'll have it for you here on location. We're excited to have that. I mean, I'm telling you what, it is a beautiful golf course, by the way. Atlantic Beach Country Club. This is where they have this event every year. And it is absolutely spectacular, and we're certainly excited to be out here doing a little radio in support. And we'll have a special guest to tell you a little bit more about the Boys and Girls Club and what they're accomplishing kind of as we go. What'd you do Saturday? Were you around?
I made a little trek to Gainesville, and
you did just hanging out. Did you go to the art walk down
I went
there?
to the Purple Porpoise.
Yeah, remember the porpoise?
Porpoise so
great.
Gatorcade.
Yeah.
I got a couple quarters and
did you play
played
Atari?
Frogger.
Maybe a little Atari.
I loved Gatorcade as a kid. That probably hasn't been there since like 1989.
I'm guessing that's right.
But anyway, yeah. So had the pleasure of attending a University of Florida football game.
Was there a football? There was a home game.
They were at home. They scored 36 points, Frank.
You've got your black Gator. You got your black 1010XL shirt on. Is that in honor of the...
I wanted to blend
in
with the Gators.
I wore blue,
The uniforms were about the only thing that went right.
Yeah.
Because I did like the – I mean, I'm not, the
You're
whole –
You're not a uniform guy.
I'm not a uniform guy, and I wasn't – I didn't love putting the – I like the players' names on the back, so the excellence, integrity, honor, and – those are all great things, but I think they kind of took it a little far, in terms of all that went. But I like the look of the uniforms, and I just didn't like the look of the defense or the special teams.
Yeah, other than that, they were fine. A lot of things to talk about today on the program. It's Jags 49ers week. That is a gigantic game on so many fronts. The math, of course, is always in play with the NFL, but that's about so many other things beyond the math. It really is. So we'll certainly talk about that today on the program, a great deal of it. Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy. Is now C.J. Stroud's really good. I told you guys he's going to be really good, so I'm not surprised at all. He's going to be a very, very good NFL quarterback, and I've thought that from day one. But is Trevor C.J. was that a thing on Twitter? Did I see that today? Did somebody? Or was that just one or two people?
Yeah, I don't think
it's
that's
not a thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, how could you not be in love with what C.J. Stroud is doing if you're, looking at it objectively? I mean, obviously, he's playing at an incredibly high level, and. So I don't know if maybe there were maybe it was Texans fans.
I might have just glanced at it on Twitter, but that's not a thing for us. No, I would not trade Trevor Lawrence for C.J. Stroud today, tomorrow, next week, 8 months from now. But C.J. Stroud's a good player, and so that's
and I don't think you can dismiss that maybe in like 3 years.
Yeah, that's right. We were about that then.
Yeah, I mean, who's to say where both players will be? But I mean, Stroud's off to a great start. There's no arguing that. And Trevor Lawrence, seems to have really found his niche here in Jacksonville.
I just kind of half saw it. So FSU Miami this week. For the longest time, the best played rivalry in sports. Not the best rivalry. It's a good rivalry. But they don't hate each other. There's not bitterness. There's not fan base stuff. It was just a great rivalry because it was two in-state rivals who both had great football teams for many years. I would contend that late 80s through early 90s FSU Miami series had the best football you'll ever see in a rivalry. Better than Florida Georgia ever had at the same time. Better than Texas Oklahoma ever had at the same time. Better than Alabama Auburn ever had at the same time. Not more fierce. Nothing's more fierce than Alabama Auburn. But as far as quality of football, nothing like FSU Miami. We have that week coming up, so we'll certainly talk about that. But let's start with the Gators. That was a bad loss. You were there. That was, in my mind, a worse loss than the Vanderbilt loss last year. That was his worst loss. It was at home. It was at home in a game you couldn't – where you actually had you won the game, you're 6-3, 4-2 in the league. You actually are having a decent season. Not great, but decent. You've got 3 games. Everyone knows you're probably not winning. You're going to be double-digit underdogs in most of those games. Maybe not in Missouri, but close to it, if not. I thought it was a bad loss. I want you to talk about it because you were there. You were in the press box. You were in the press conferences afterwards. You have a better look at it. I was watching it on television. But what made that loss so bad to me, we've learned by now he's a good culture guy. He is going to recruit good players. He's a good person. He's a good leader. And he's probably not a particularly good sideline football coach. I think we knew that before that game, that his weakness is he's not a great game day coach. He was fired twice. He's been an offensive coordinator twice. He was fired after 2 years at Clemson. The staff was fired after his 1 year at Arizona State. But we hoped he was organized and attentive to detail. That seemed to be a hallmark of who we thought Billy Napier was. So what really hurts Hayes is when their football team could not possibly look less organized. That's the problem. Is what appeared to be his strength, organizational structure, that was an embarrassment at the end. And here's the shame of it. If not for that embarrassment, if that doesn't happen that way, then if it doesn't go the way it went, well then all of a sudden you win the game as you should have won the game. Because you won the game, people are, you know what they're talking about? What a great drive. How they didn't back down after trailing 14-0, how they're 6-3 and 4-2 in the league. There would have been so much good if you just don't run on too early. I 100% am convinced that if they'd have managed it right, he makes the field goal. Number one, it's 5 yards closer. But more than that, there's all the stuff and all the sideline chaos. And now it's a thing, and both coaches are talking to the officials, and Pittman's losing his mind. And now you're caught up in all that, and you missed it by a yard. I'm convinced if they get him off the field, he spikes the ball, offense comes off, special teams runs on, they line up, Pittman ices him, nobody talks to the officials, you wait, you come back, I think he makes the field goal. I think that led to him missing. I'm convinced that they had missed all year long, other than block kicks, or a bad snap for the extra point here. What a disaster, and that is clearly on Billy Napier, and there's no other way to look at it.
Well, the thing, too, that I thought was so concerning is you've got 8 seconds when Boardingham goes down. It's not like it's a remotely difficult situation. I mean, this is This is something that at the high school level you would expect to execute 100% of the time. You have plenty of time. You have 8 seconds. You have plenty of time to get up there, clock the ball. You're still going to have 3 or 4 seconds. So for there to be this chaos on the sideline, like there was only, it just didn't make sense. And under no circumstance would the field goal team have enough time to get on and execute the play.
Had no chance no time for a mayday.
Yeah, there was no way that was going to happen.
Right.
So, but again, this goes back to the failure of not having a special teams coordinator. A person that, when there's 2 number 3s on the field in Utah, says, "Coach, we need a timeout. We got 2 guys with the same." That wouldn't have happened. But even if it did happen, there's a coach that specifically is geared in on that and calls the timeout. And look, he can have the tight ends coach can be the special teams coordinator.
Right.
But he's got a guy on his staff that all he does is coach tight ends. I mean, that's 4 people.
Well, let me give you, and let me take it a step further, Hayes. One problem is there's not a special teams coach, okay? You can overcome that if the head coach is managing the sideline. But while the special teams coach doesn't exist, the head coach is looking down at his play sheet because he's also the play caller, and he's not a very good multitasker. So if you go back and look, Napier's looking down at his play sheet, look at the plays that are called. There's no special teams coordinator, so a player hears somebody else fire and runs out, and there's nobody to manage it. There's nobody to stand out on the sidelines and keep them back. So it's a twofold problem. One-fold is the fact that there's not a special teams coach. Twofold is head coaches manage their sideline. Well, he can't because he's looking down at his play sheet because he's a play. So I mean that law. Because
he probably has 9 different versions of clock the ball.
Yeah, right, correct. And so the bottom line is that one is squarely on Billy Napier, squarely on a bad plan. So that, which leads us to where is it going to go, and that'll be part of our program today. That was a bad loss. That was as bad again. I don't care if Arkansas is better than their record or not. They're 2-6, 0-5 in the league, and have lost 6 straight games. Okay, I don't care what their record was. I don't care what people think of them. That's what their record was, and you had the game won. And imagine what people are saying about that comeback, even if it was against a bad team.
Absolutely.
You never flinched.
Brilliant drive by Mertz.
With no timeouts left,
Because he burned 2.
And that's enough, right?
I mean,
and by the way,
that introduces
correct.
a whole other issue.
And if he had not incorrect, if he had had the timeouts, but I mean, Mertz did it without the timeouts.
Right.
And no, it was absolutely as coach directed a loss as I can remember a team having in a long time. When coaches are always to blame. My friend David Lamb used to say, "It's everything, it's coaching." If it's everything, it's coaching because he's in charge of the everything. He's the head coach is the everything coordinator, and if it's everything, then it's the coaching. But this one, very, 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 very specifically, was lost because of the coach. So it was, and I like Billy. I'm
you
rooting
can't
for
argue
Billy.
it.
Yeah, but this one was lost. So we'll talk about that a little bit. That's our story today. One of the lead stories because it's the thing everybody's talking about. We'll talk Jags 49ers. We'll talk NFL. What a weekend in the NFL, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a crazy weekend in the NFL starting at 9:30 in the morning yesterday. Some Knowles, Canes coming up. We got a lot of stuff to get to today on the program. College basketball starts tonight. JU at home, UNF at home, Florida at home. So a lot of hoops to get to as well. We're loaded up. We're live from Atlantic Beach Country Club. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
Start your week with analysis and a plate full of opinions about the weekend's games.
It's delicious.
Sink your teeth into Dandy Foods Postgame Monday on 1010XL. Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Did you know the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid never needs to be plugged in? The onboard system charges the batteries for you. When you think Honda, think hybrid. Good for the environment, great for your budget. Visit your local Honda dealer to experience the CR-V of the future today.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason so many of my friends and our listeners have had Stanley Pools build their pools and now maintain their pools because Stanley Pools truly cares about their customers. Stanley Pools is locally owned and has been serving our community for 35 years. For all of your pool needs, call Stanley Pools at 269-7277. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools. 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com.
Tailgating is back, but if you're like most of us, your grill is probably a filthy, greasy mess. Trust Grill SOS Barbecue Grill Cleaning Service to make sure your grill is squeaky clean for the fall grilling season. Schedule your grill cleaning now at grillsos.com.
1010XL is a proud sponsor of Operation New Uniform's 10th Annual Heroes Gala, featuring retired Army Lieutenant Colonel and former Congressman Alan West. Saturday, December 2nd at Sawgrass Marriott. Operation Uniform is a free, life-changing program that helped me, David Trenholm, successfully transition from a 20-year career in the United States Navy to the business world. Join 1010XL and sponsor Operation Uniform's 10th Annual Heroes Gala today. Go to onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org today.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. When it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Roland, 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 we're all calling Roland. The toilet's overflowing, oh my.
When you've got a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reese Plumbing, 260-7059.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Now, how many times have we heard it? Lose weight without lifting a finger. It's tempting, isn't it? But deep down, we know there's no shortcut to true health. Number one rule, eating right. Now, you might consider the new medications, and yes, you'll see a difference, but will it last? The latest study from the Journal of Diabetes, Obesity, and Metabolism found that almost 90% of the participants regained at least half of their weight back. I wanted a solution, not a Band-Aid. So I put my trust in Awaken 180 Weight Loss. And as you all know, it's paid off great. I dropped my 25 pounds in just over a month, something I never thought I'd say about a weight loss program. It actually was easy. I haven't put a pound back on since. I finally found my solution for weight loss. You can find your solution by calling 844-346-1800. Again, 844-346-1800, or reserve your consultation online by going to awaken180weightloss.com.
Give us your hot take.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
On the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Be part of the conversation. 641-1010.
This is Hayes Carline for Island Wing Company, located on South Side near Tinseltown, and our new location at Bartram Park in St. Johns County. Two great locations offering the ultimate sports bar experience where you can stick to healthy options. Island Wing Company has a wide selection of fryer-free food. The wings are baked, not fried, with so many awesome flavors to choose from. You can also get delicious salmon, tuna, flatbreads, and tacos. With tons of spectacular TVs, dog-friendly patios, and 2 daily happy hours, Island Wings can't be beat.
When it comes to commercial fence services, Superior Fence and Rail has you covered. If your business needs automatic gates or security fence and railings, trust Superior with your next commercial project. Superior's team delivers great communication, high-quality products, and exceptional customer service. Just read any of their 2,300-plus reviews.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey sports fans, it's Hayes Carline for QC Kinetics. Look, are you sick and tired of living with that constant pain in your knees and back? Joint pain doesn't just keep you from doing what you love, it affects your job, your relationships, even simple things like getting dressed. It's time to call QC Kinetics. They've got two great locations here, Mandarin and Ponte Vedra. And look, you can get in. They have appointments available right now. This week, call them at 904-274-5522. You got to give them a chance. Hips, shoulders, elbows, they can treat everything with natural biologics from your own body. Powerful healing agents, highly concentrated. If you're tired of steroid shots that don't work, or if you're trying to avoid surgery, call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation. Learn more about these exciting new cutting-edge treatments. Again, 904-274-5522. That's QC Kinetics.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein and Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein and Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Hunting season is here, so lock and load on that new rifle or shotgun at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Tons of great options with the best prices and no waiting this side of the ditch. Arm yourself with the best at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Hey, we're glad you're with us. We continue along here live from Atlantic Beach Country Club at the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida. 8th Annual McKinsey's Beaches Boys and Girls Club Golf Tournament. Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, RJ back in studio with all the activity. Lauren Brooks has the day off, so we will continue along here from Atlantic Beach. Okay, let's start with what now. If the game's over, okay, we spent about 8 minutes and we told you why they lost the game. Okay, there's a lot to break down beyond that. We'll get to Jags coming up in a bit, but again, everyone's buzzing about the Gators and Napier right now. If you're Billy Napier right now, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, I think you're trying to keep your team together because you're not really playing for anything of consequence now. And so, I think the number one thing is you're trying to keep confidence, which is tough because it's your fault they lost, and the kids know that. So, you've got to try and maintain a cohesive locker room, which he's spoken very highly about his group and that they're very coachable and it's a good group. So I think it starts there. I don't think there's, from a personnel standpoint, I don't really know what you can do. Offensively, I think while we would like them to be more aggressive, they did take 4 shots down the field. Now, they only hit the one to Pearsall for the touchdown. But I have gotten to the point where I mark every time they throw it deep in a game. He threw 4 deep downfield. Right. They were 1 of 4 with the Pearsall touchdown.
Which is which is normal.
Which is about normal. That's 1 a quarter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think in terms of, I know people – don't like him as an OC. He definitely needs to get the plays in faster. Again, you can't burn 2 timeouts early in the second half because you can't get your play call in because you can't think of what you want to call. But I think offensively there's a lot to like there. Defensively they're a mess, which we don't really talk about because there's so many other issues. But, they've now allowed 39 points in their last 3 games. Now, 2 of those against South Carolina was a deliberate safety as you're trying to kill the game. But still, you still are allowing way too many points. Austin Armstrong's unit is really starting to wear down. They didn't have Shamar James, Cam Jackson, Tyreek Sapp going into the Arkansas game. Then you lose Jack Pyburn and TJ Searcy. So, I mean, Florida's just not good enough to be down 5 front 7 players and not have a experienced quarterback like KJ Jefferson shred you. So in terms of what can he do in these final 3 games, I don't think there's really much he can do. I mean, he kind of has the team he has, and the day it ends, he's going to, I would assume, fire Chris Couch, who's the special team game changer support staff role, and he'll quickly announce, I'm hiring a special teams coordinator. I don't think he's going to hire an OC. But I do think the special teams coordinator will happen. So to answer your question, I don't think you're going to see monumental changes at all in these next 3 games. And then I think as soon as he gets beyond the Florida State game and the season's over, because I think they're going to be 5-7, you will then see him announce substantial personnel changes.
Yeah, they're going to be 5-7. They're not, if you can't beat Arkansas at home, you're not going to go on the road and beat a ranked team or come home and beat one of the best teams in the country. So they're going to be 5-7. I don't even think there's much debate about that. Sorry if I'm destroying your hope, Gator fan, or a fellow Gator fan like me, but that's what I think. So what I would do if I was him, as far as the football team and personnel, you are what you are. And you can't uncoach the routine you've coached all along. I get that. But what I would do is the most important thing, and we have said this for weeks, Hayes, about Florida football. The most important thing going, the number one thing, and it trumps everything else, is keep enough momentum in the program that you don't lose all those good new coming players coming in. You don't lose that class. You've got to keep the momentum in the program and stay away from the negative momentum, because the negative momentum is what's going to wallop your class. There's no debating that. And to that end, we all know that the conversation pieces are offensive coordinator. Yeah, the offense looked better the other day, but offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, organizational skills, staff, is he getting it right? And that's what everyone's going to recruit against them. If I was him, rather than duck it, rather than these word salad answers, I would address it. I wouldn't necessarily say, here's what I'm doing. He's very careful not to throw anybody under the bus, and I respect him for that. He's very careful not to say anything that would look like he's pointing a finger at somebody who didn't do their job. He's the anti-pit coach guy who threw his players. He's very careful not to be that, and I respect that, and I get that. But I would get to that mic, and someone needs to coach him, and I'd say, listen, we know how we've done this organizationally is a talking point. Well, we're not blind to that. We don't have a special teams coordinator, and maybe that hurt us. And because the truth of the matter is, we ran guys on the field. Our organization, our structure didn't work, and I pride myself in having systems, and the systems failed us, and it's failed us more than once. So we are well aware of that. And because we're well aware of that, I'll make whatever changes we need to when this season ends. You don't have to worry. You don't have to sit there and wonder and guess. I will make the changes. That doesn't mean I'm putting it on Chris. That doesn't mean I'm blaming him. I'll take the blame for all of it because I'm the one that built all this. But I'm aware that offensive coordinator and special teams coordinator have been talking points, and I'm going to address those. So in case anybody's wondering whether or not we're going to address those, I'm not sure what we're going to do or not do, but don't think for a minute that's lost on us. We know we have failed in that area, and that's on the coach who built the system, and that is me. And if I have to change it by adding a coordinator or subtracting a coordinator or adding a coach, I'm not going to put it on the coaches I hired. I'm the one that hired them. I'll put it on me. But I'm changing something if it needs to be changed, and you can rest assured of that. Questions. And then when Mark Long said, well, what about special teams? Mark, I just said it. Yeah, because Mark's a good. I mean, you don't.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Mark, I just answered it. I said what we're going to do is address it. Next guy. When Kevin Brockway asked, when Graham asked, when Nick asks, Nick, here's what we're doing. Nick, what I'm going to do is I'm well aware that the special teams coordinator lack of one and offensive coordinator lack of one has been a talking point. I'm very aware it's been a talking point. And because I know it's been a talking point, I'm going to address that specifically when I'm sure. The wrong thing to do now is knee-jerk. That's not fair to the people in those positions. That's not fair to our football players. But I'm aware when something we're doing, and I'm honest enough and man enough to admit if the system I built isn't working. That's what he should say.
Yeah.
That's my point. He should say specifically that rather than talk in terms of – because now I think he's making himself – he's not trying. He's a good guy. He may not be a very good sideline coach. He's obviously a good guy. That's one of the reasons recruits all want to come there, okay? But he's making himself look worse by talking in circles instead of just coming right out and saying specifically specifically, I'm aware of these two issues, and we will address those when the time is right in the right way. And I'm specifically talking about offensive coordinator and special teams coordinator. That's what he should do.
Well, I'm going to make you feel better, because I think he kind of did that today a little bit. And I thought he had some missteps in his press conference today, and we can get to those.
Yeah.
But his first question out of the gate is, I'm curious about your staff and your analysts in year two. How do you evaluate their output and performance in terms of helping the on-field product on Saturdays? And this is Billy Napier, I think, basically saying what you're saying, in a little bit more delicate fashion. His response: I think much like everything we do, I think there's some good and some bad. I think we adjust each year. I think when the season's over, you go back, you quality control. Sometimes mid-season, even in the off-season, I think you have an idea where you're going to make adjustments relative to what's required to get us where we want to go. I think all those things are end-of-year approaches. Now's not the time to do that. You may be taking notes along the way, but I think from a process standpoint, we try to continue to get better. So I think he kind of said it today.
That's a word salad way of saying it.
Right.
I mean it's, instead of going from Jacksonville to Tampa,
right.
That is Jacksonville through Atlanta, through Baton Rouge, up through New Orleans, back through Fayetteville to Tampa. But he kind of got the Tampa.
But don't you get the sense that that's his –
I do.
Because you're right. He's not going to be as blunt as, oh, yeah, I've got to fire some people.
Well,
we're 3 weeks away from me having to tell people
and the blunt
their lives are getting ready to be uprooted.
And the blunt way to say that, if it was me, is, listen, I built the system.
Right.
And now I've got to look and see, did the system – it's not the people failing. They're doing what I asked them to do. Is the system that I built failing? And maybe it is. And if it is, I'm going to look at – so yeah, maybe he did kind of say. But that to me is the first thing. The second – so that's first. That is the very first thing I would do. Secondly is he's got to really – if he's not good at something, you got to get some help from somebody who is. I don't think he's a good play caller. It was better this week because I just think he found some rhythm. You and I have had this conversation. We've kind of disagreed on this. So I think he's got a really good quarterback. The guy's thrown 17 touchdowns and 2 picks. The guy's completing 74% while dodging rushers every play because the offensive line's horrendous. So I think he's got a really good quarterback. I think he's got one great running back and one pretty good one. And now I'm on the play 7, not 2 team. I was stubborn in getting to that because I thought they were both good. Well, ETN's way better, so he's got to play him. But I think he's got 2 damn good receivers, one really special one, 2 good running backs, a really good quarterback, a blossoming tight end, and I think that has helped them. I think they got better personnel than people we realize at those skill spots. Line isn't very good. So I think that helped. I still don't think he's a very good play caller. But you're right. It wasn't a disaster. Play calling wasn't a disaster. That's a fair point. But I think say what you're not good at. So, again, they're going 5-7. They're not going to a bowl. They're going to, in these last 3 games, my guess is LSU beats them by a couple touchdowns. They probably hang around with Missouri for a while and lose by 10, and then FSU rolls them in the swamp. That's my guess. The swamp will help. But so they're going to lose all 3 games, and I don't think any of them are coming down to fourth quarter. You said this, by the way. You said on the air last week this one's coming down to a fourth quarter kick. I think that was your exact words, and it came down to a fourth quarter kick. I wish you had told me they were going to screw up 10,000 things before they kicked it. But I mean, you said it's going to come down to a fourth quarter kick. So I don't think these last 3 are coming down to a fourth quarter kick. So you kind of know where the game's going. So I would address you can't lose the class. And the other thing is they have got to be better in the portal because you can't play freshmen which is what's happening to them now. Right. So we'll see. But anyway, all the criticism. I'll close the Gator part with this. I want to get to some Jaguar football, other stuff. All the criticisms of Florida are valid. All the criticisms right now of how they're doing it, of the system, the end of that game should never happen even at the high school level. There should be a coach, not a player. There should be a coach that stands on the sideline with his back to the field and either tells the special team, the kicking team, get on or stay off. There was nobody to do it. If there's a coach standing, I'm trying to let me try to paint the picture here. There's a coach who actually probably has creeped onto the field with his back to the field facing the sideline, okay? And that coach either tells the kicking team, get out there, or puts his arms out and says, stay off. And in a Mayday situation, it all has to happen quick. They had a timeout. Pittman called a timeout. So you had time to say, after this play, if it's we don't have time for a Mayday play. There's no time for Mayday. So even if it's an incomplete, if he gets sacked, Graham's going to spike it before we do anything else. There's no time for Mayday. The reason players aren't expected to know that. They go where you're told to go. But the truth is, if a coach had said that before the play, Hayes, there's nobody rushing. You rush when you think you might be in a Mayday situation. We all knew they weren't.
Right.
We all knew that wasn't going to be. There's no way it was going to be a Mayday. Yet there they go, rushing on.
And you're putting way too much on a player.
Too much.
I mean, Billy Napier's explanation for how this happened is one of the most inexplicable things I've ever heard. He says, well, we have a player that's in charge of that. Really didn't back off of it today either, which is just stunning. Well, I mean, it's just stunning. Now, again, it's not that the player is making the decision.
Right.
The coach, Napier is making the decision, but it shouldn't go Napier to a player. It should go Napier, special teams coordinator, and then the message is relayed.
Yeah,
it puts way too much on a player, and Napier's explanation was the player thought he heard our signal for run the field goal team.
Who did he think he heard it from? That's what I mean. You thought you heard. I mean, again, if a coach is standing out there like a traffic cop, and you can't get by him, that's what you do. You can't get by the guy. I'd rather have a big special teams coach.
Right.
And so he keeps you off the field or sends you on. It isn't rocket science. He keeps you off. And by the way, I'll say it again, a lot of teams, the guy who does that is the head coach. I promise you Urban Meyer did it. I can promise you Steve Spurrier did it.
Yeah.
The head coach stands out there and sends you on or off. But Billy can't do that because he's looking at his dang play sheet. I don't know why you're still looking at your play sheet.
I don't know, because it's a simple kill the clock.
Yeah, and so, but that.
Which Mertz knew. Mertz didn't have to be told that.
Did you see Mertz's reaction?
Yeah.
When those players were running on the field?
I feel bad for Graham Mertz.
I do too, because he's looking up, he's going, yeah,
he might have the best football IQ in the Gator logo.
There's no question. And you talk about a guy that can't catch a break. He was 2 yards on a field goal from everybody talking about his drive.
Right.
The whole world will be talking about this guy got the ball like they are C.J. Stroud in the NFL.
Right.
They'd be talking about he got the ball back, no timeouts, with not much of an offensive line and a team where you're kind of getting out physical in the game, and took them right down the field to win the game. And now nobody's saying that because they botched the end game and missed the kick. I mean, poor guy, he's got to be thinking, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be on Sports Center. I'd be on all of them.
Sure.
The guy brought him back, and instead
he'd maybe be SEC Player of the Week.
Yeah, he was.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, and instead we're talking about.
Instead, you're not going to a bowl game.
Right. Again. So it was a mess. So we'll talk more about that as we go. Jags and 49ers. Trevor Lawrence versus Brock Purdy. Kyle Shanahan versus Doug Peterson. 5-3 versus 6-2. A team that's red hot versus a team that's leaking oil. The lead game on Fox at 1 o'clock. Boy, that thing's got all kind of storylines, doesn't it? I mean, let's start the week, man. All kind of storylines. Can't wait for it. 49ers, Jags. We'll talk about it. We'll kick off the week to talk about it after this.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
Your home for Florida Gators basketball is 1010XL.
The Gators tip off the season tonight against Loyola, Maryland at the O'Connell Center. Coverage starts at 7:30 on 1010 AM.
In America, we enjoy freedom thanks to our veterans who answered the call to defend our nation. Congressman Aaron Bean here, and I'm honored to represent more than 70,000 veterans in our nation's capital. As the son of a World War II veteran, I understand that veteran benefits are not entitlements, they're earned. Our team is ready to assist you. If you need help with the VA, call my office, 904-557-9550. I'm Congressman Aaron Bean, and serving you is what we do. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Lauren Brooks here. Tired of joint pain holding you back? Try BioTarget from Injury Care Centers. This treatment will prolong the life of your joints by targeting the root of your pain and delivering more regenerative cells to the affected area, ensuring faster and more effective healing, making BioTarget the most advanced regenerative treatment. For a limited time, BioTarget starts as low as $499. Call Injury Care Centers or visit GoBioTarget.com. That's GoBioTarget.com.
When it comes to a new roof, you want the golden standard. Look no further than Golden Hammer Roofing and Gutters. With our unbeatable 5-year warranty, you can enjoy peace of mind knowing your roof is protected for years to come. And guess what? Our team can complete most roofs in just 1 day. That's right, you won't have to worry about long and disruptive construction projects.
Golden Hammer Roofing and Gutters.
Golden Hammer!
The golden standard in roofing.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Clear away the summer wear and tear with Fenwick Home Services Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing Automatic Savings Event. Our licensed technicians will clean your system, perform comprehensive safety checks, and ensure your system functions safely while helping you avoid costly repairs. All for $90. Call 904-977-8519 or visit FenwickEasyBook.com before the automatic event ends.
Post-Game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Lauren Brooks here for Hodges Mazda. Why buy from Hodges Mazda at the Avenues? Because they strive to ensure a satisfying and comfortable car buying experience. That's why the sales staff doesn't work on commission, allowing Hodges Mazda to put your best interests first. Whether you're looking for a brand new Mazda or a pre-owned vehicle, Hodges Mazda has a large selection to help you choose from. And every vehicle purchased from Hodges Mazda comes with 2 years free maintenance and free car washes for life. Now that is peace of mind. So visit Hodges Mazda today or shop online at HodgesMazda.com.
If you can't get enough college football, get ready for the games with the Bueller Air Conditioning Saturday Kickoff.
It's your local Saturday morning college football pregame show with me, Matt Hayes, Shannon Snell.
Brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue on 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carline from MyBookie. Football is in full force. We're having so much fun with our friends from MyBookie. Again, sign up for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL. They're going to give you a welcome bonus up to $1,000. It's a phenomenal offer to get you started with a fantastic website. The MyBookie Casino is first rate as well. Again, use promo code 1010XL. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carline from MyBookie. Football is in full force. We're having so much fun with our friends from MyBookie. Again, sign up for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL. They're going to give you a welcome bonus up to $1,000. It's a phenomenal offer to get you started with a fantastic website. The MyBookie Casino is first rate as well. Again, use promo code 1010XL. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
This is Hayes Carline for Spicklemeyer Insurance Agency. I was paying too much for car insurance, paying for things I didn't need. My friend John Spicklemeyer fixed all that for me with impeccable customer service. For all your car insurance needs, call John at 471-7155.
Hunting season is here, so lock and load on that new rifle or shotgun at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Tons of great options with the best prices and no waiting this side of the ditch. Arm yourself with the best at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Did you know that all graduates of Local 234's apprenticeship program are licensed journeymen? That means all plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC techs will have hundreds of hours of experience and have passed the Jacksonville City Licensed Journeyman exam. They're the best trained and safest skilled tradespeople in the industry. Don't leave yourself exposed to inadequate workmanship or even danger. Always hire a licensed journeyman. Local 234. Make the right connection. Equal opportunity employer.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars come out of the bye week at 6-2 and have a 2-game lead in the AFC South. Pro Football Hall of Famer Tony Baselli was a guest this morning of The Drill and spoke about how he feels about the Jags heading into the second half of the season.
They're as complete a team there is in the AFC. Does that mean they're going to win it all? No. I mean, we've got a long way to go. A lot of things can happen, but sitting right in here at the halfway point and looking at the rest of the AFC, there's not a team that, whether home, away, neutral field, I don't care where it is, that we don't show up and you're not confident you can win that game.
The Jaguars host a huge game on Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline on location. R.J. Saunders back at the World Headquarters. We move along here on a Monday. We thank our friends from the Best Bet. The Best Bet has 3 great locations, folks. I mean, that new one in St. Augustine is so beautiful. Best Bet Jacksonville is on Monument Road. And, of course, the Best Bet Orange Park, been there so very long. If you want to have a really, really good time, you want to head to the Best Bet. It doesn't get any better than our friends at the Best Bet. We sure appreciate them and have for the longest time. All right, 49ers week is here. It's very interesting, I think. If you look at this matchup before the season, it looked like a Super Bowl contending team versus a hopeful team. A team that people think might have been the best in the league last year had they not had gotten their quarterback hurt, versus a team that was a bit of an upstart that got it going. It doesn't feel that way now. The Jags are a home dog, which surprised me a little bit. I'm surprised a little bit. That
a little motivation for the boys?
I would think, but they're a home dog. The 49ers have a very good football team. And, by the way, they were rolling people now before. They weren't just winning before their losing streak. Their scores were 30-7, later on 30-12, 35-16, 42-10. I mean,
to Dallas.
They beat the Dallas Cowboys 42-10.
That was the single most impressive game I've seen this season.
Same. And then they lost a close one, 2 close ones on the road to Cleveland, Minnesota, and then they lost at home to a very good Cincinnati team. So they're 5-3. They're leaking some oil. The storylines here, or the possibilities here, are so many, Hayes, because if the Jaguars win the game, not that there should be, then there's no more doubt. Then that is elite beating elite. I would suggest if the Jaguars win that football game to get to 7-2, they will be in a top 5 in just about every power poll. Agree or disagree?
Oh, I think so, because I think they're there now. So if you go and beat San Francisco, I mean, you're talking, I think, top 3. Probably a lot of them would have you second, at that point. So yeah, I mean that's the real intriguing storyline for the Jaguars in this game is it would show that you would have wins over Buffalo, who's disappointing but still a talented club, and a win over San Francisco. And we see it with club. Look at the Miami Dolphins. They're really getting hit hard today because they beat the bad teams and they lose to the good teams.
Right.
Well, if you're ever going to become a contender for the whole thing, you've got to show that you can beat the elite team. San Francisco is still an elite team. They've lost 3 straight, but the eye test tells you that San Francisco is probably going to be playing for the right to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl as we get deep into the tournament. So it is a huge game. I think it would say even more about the Jaguars if they won it because of what you alluded to. The Jaguars don't really need the game. They've won 5 straight. They're feeling awesome. The 49ers are kind of desperate. Not to fall out of the playoffs, but if you're a great team, you don't lose 4 straight. They've had 2 weeks to think about it. They've scored 17 points in each of their last 3 games. So I think there's going to be supreme motivation for San Francisco to turn things around. And so if the Jaguars can send them to a 4 straight loss, that would say a lot about this team's physical and mental toughness. But they've been showing that all year. This would just be the latest example.
How healthy are the 49ers? Is Samuel going to play?
That's one that I think is probably going to be the most up in the air, but I would expect him to.
Because if they play, if Deebo Samuel plays, then a team that has Christian McCaffrey, regarded by many as the best back in the league, Deebo Samuel, the best versatile player in the league, Greg Kittle, one of the better tight ends in the league, top 3 or 4 tight end at worst in the league, a quarterback who'd been playing at a very high level regardless of where he was drafted, a really good offensive-minded coach, and none of those characteristics are the one that is their hallmark. Toughness is who they are. Toughness, physicality on defense, hit you in the mouth. If you beat the San Francisco 49ers, you've beat team tough guy. That's why what the Bengals did to them, even though it was in Cincinnati, that 2-touchdown win was a convincing win because they got him in their kind of a game. They got him in a bit of a track meet game, and they beat team tough guy by outrunning him. And I will tell you, if you beat team tough guy, then it's not just did you beat them, you beat a team that they're sort of the macho guy of the league. That's the thing. And I will tell you, the Jags are emerging as that. If you look at teams over the years when they've been good, the Patriots were good because they had Tom Brady. The Colts were good because Manning and those great receivers. That doesn't mean they weren't tough or good, but that was their identity. The Steelers and the Ravens were good because they would out-tough you with defense. That's how everyone's got an identity. The Jaguars in their 28 previous years have not been one of the better teams very often, but when they were, it was toughness and defense. 17, toughness and defense. 07 under Jack, toughness and defense. In the late 90s, they were more known for their offense because they had star players, Brunell and Fred and Keenan and Jimmy. But they were good on defense, man. So there's been a toughness to the Jags. It's football, by the way. We can't be good without being tough, but you get the point. Their identity's been toughness, and I think that's kind of who they are this year. I've said it before, Hayes. I'll stand by it. The story of the season, the story of the Jaguar season, in my opinion, has been how good the defense has been. That's been the story. The offense hasn't found stride yet, hadn't hit stride yet. The story of this team is how good they have been on defense, and you have to have a toughness to be that. There's no finesse defenses that are good. There's some finesse offenses that are good. There's no finesse defenses that are good. So this is mano-a-mano. I mean, this is middle of the ring. There's no one dancing here, okay? There's no one dancing around the ring. There's nobody throwing jabs. This is two heavyweights in the middle of the ring. May the best man, whoever's standing at the end wins. And I think and I think everybody's watching that, which is why there's significance. There's always, I said this at the top of the program, there's always significance in the NFL because of the math. There's no voting. There's not a poll. There's no style points. How badly did you beat Vanderbilt? That doesn't work this way in the NFL. It's all the math. But there is a way people feel about you. There is a way people respect you, and hitting a tough team in the mouth would gain a great deal of respect for the Jags.
Yeah, and San Francisco's offense, like you mentioned, is so versatile. You've got, in addition, you've got Brandon Ayuk, who's just been sensational.
Really good receiver.
35 catches, 620 yards, a 17.7 yards per catch average, only a couple of touchdowns in there. But Ayuk is a guy that no one really knows about, but his numbers are sensational. And, and Deebo Samuel is obviously so versatile. George Kittle has become one of the best tight ends, obviously, in football. And McCaffrey is just a splendid player. I mean, he's on his way to a 2,000-yard season in terms of total offense, and with 20 touchdowns. That's what he's on pace for. So offensively, with Kyle Shanahan, they are going to have a lot of difficult challenges for Mike Caldwell and this Jaguar defense to have to respond to. I'm very eager to see how the Jaguars handle that. And then, for the Jaguars offense, I mean, they've added Chase Young at the deadline. Nick Bosa is struggling. He's got 3 sacks, but he's had a bye week to sort of get going. I don't know that he's been fully healthy and in the groove. So San Francisco presents a ton of challenges. I mean, they're top 10 in offense. They're top 10 in defense. They're just doing everything at a high level, and they're angry. So monumental challenge for the Jaguars, and if they can beat the 49ers, and I absolutely think they can win the game, then it would be a massive statement. It would also take a lot of the air out of the sails, I think, of Houston, Indianapolis, Tennessee, the teams that are really hoping that the Jaguars may come back to the pack a little bit. This is the week where you want to see that because San Francisco is such a quality team. So if the Jaguars can get a win, that's one where the rest of the division gets kind of a break. The Jaguars are playing the 49ers, but the other teams are playing the Seahawks, Cardinals, or Rams. It's that 17th game entity that probably of all the formulas into the schedule was the biggest disadvantage for the Jaguars. So if they go and beat the 49ers, you're getting a game on the field that the field was expecting to get on you.
And make no mistake about this. There's no debating they can win the game. There are no games anymore that the Jaguars can't. Chiefs, Eagles, Cowboys. There's no games now they can't win. They're now elevated to, I mean, the NFL, anybody can beat anybody, but you don't feel that way before games all the time. You know that? I mean, even though anybody can beat anybody, you don't really expect the Cardinals to turn around and beat the Chiefs. They might do it, but you don't go into the game expecting it. This is now, and everybody, the Jags can beat anybody. I mean, the Jags have a good team, and so I'm really excited about this one now. I can tell you, I am. It's only Monday. I mean, this one's got a little juice, doesn't it?
It does.
Doesn't it feel that way?
I mean, again, I think it's the best game of the week. I understood it not getting flexed because you don't want to flex a winning New York market team out of that. And the Raiders are certainly interesting. Have a great fan following. So I mean, but to me, it's on paper, it's by far the best game of the week. Detroit Chargers is intriguing, but the Chargers haven't really lived up to the billing.
This is the best game.
So this is the best
game.
And I mean, you haven't really heard. It's early, but you haven't heard a lot of talk about Super Bowl preview. But it could be. I mean, if the Chiefs look unbelievable, and certainly they have the tiebreaker on the Jaguars, so it's going to be hard to wrestle home field away from them. But yeah, I mean, I think both these teams have the potential to certainly be in Las Vegas.
And if you win this one, now people are going to have trouble looking at that schedule and finding ones you're not going to win. That's what happened. That's what this game does. If you win this game, by the way, they're going to lose. They're not going 15-2. So even if they win this game, they're going to get beat along the way. But you're going to have a heck of a time picking which one. You know that? Maybe the Ravens might be the best team in football right now. Maybe the Ravens. The Bengals certainly have hit stride, but those games are here.
That's right.
Too. So you have a hard time putting your finger on a game that you're convinced they won't win. I'm telling you, because before the season, I had this game as that game. Before the season began, I said this is going to be one hard for them to win. 49ers fans are everywhere. And by the way, I'll say it again. Jaguar fan, I certainly respect you. You sell your tickets, you make money. I get it. I'll never be someone to tell someone how to spend their money or how to make money. But I hope the tickets aren't sold to 49ers fans this week. That's my hope. I'm allowed to have a hope. Last time the 49ers came here 2-3 years ago, I was astounded. Weren't you?
Yeah, it was a lot.
I was astounded at how many 49ers fans were here, and I hope like heck that's not the case this time. I'm rooting for a full house of teal and black, and so hopefully it'll go that way. We'll certainly see. I'll take a break. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more about this terrific golf tournament. Holly Terrell is going to join us. She is the committee chairperson for this thing. She's on the board of the Beaches Boys and Girls Club. She joins us after this on 1010XL at 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
He's got an analytical eye and a country state of mind.
Their approach is always going to be they're going to mix in man coverage because that's what they do.
Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Logan on Jaguars Today is brought to you by Mr. Sparky of the First Coast on 1010XL.
Are you looking to maintain your cool? Look no further than Lloyd's Heating and Air. At Lloyd's Heating and Air, your go-to experts for all things HVAC. Whether you're building a new home, need a brand new AC installation, or just want to make sure your current system is running at peak performance, with a maintenance plan, we've got you covered. Our skilled team specializes in new construction HVAC, making sure your home or business is comfortable from the moment you step inside. LloydsHeatingandAir.com. CMC 1249834.
These fall months are the perfect time to make sure that your roof has not been damaged after the storm season. So schedule a complimentary roof inspection with Universal Roof and Contracting. And right now, get 15% off your roof replacement and repairs. Plus, there's flexible financing options available. This offer expires November 30th and restrictions apply. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, why is it that when you look at how long a store has been in business, that it always seems to be the stores like Underwood's that sell fine quality that have been around the longest?
Frank, that's a question that really doesn't get asked a lot, but it should be. There are a number of reasons, but probably the biggest is because of the endorsements our longtime customers and their pieces of jewelry have given us through the years. You see, when you sell really fine quality jewelry, that piece will last longer and always stay beautiful. It might stay in the same family for generations, and through those years of wear, a lot of compliments will be made and a lot of people will be told where the piece of jewelry came from. You see, at a store like Underwood's, it's our stated goal to be the best jeweler in the South, not the biggest, so everything we do and carry has to help move us toward that goal. And ultimately, it's the satisfied customers wearing fine quality jewelry that have kept Underwood's in Jacksonville since 1928.
Underwood's in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Pastor Joby Martin here with the Church of 1122. We are honored once again to partner with the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida for the Great Futures Weekend, which includes golf and Mackenzie's 5K run at the esteemed TPC Stadium course. Help us continue to honor Mackenzie Wilson's legacy. That's Friday and Saturday, November 17th and 18th. You can golf or you can run. It'll be a great time. Additional info at MackenzieRun.org. Proceeds go to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World, simply the best for less. And thank you for your business.
Famous Quick Lube helps keep your car in dependable travel condition. Stop in today, where they'll change your oil, rotate the tires, check the filters, wipers, lights, and get you right back to your holiday plans. Famous Quick Lube, 12 locations servicing every customer like they're famous.
Create great futures for young people when you run or walk at McKenzie's Run Saturday, November 18th. Join Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida for a 5K and 1 mile fun run through the stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. Register at mckenziesrun.org.
How much space junk is orbiting the Earth? The answer coming up.
With hurricane season now here, the only weather you need to be concerned about is whether your homeowner's insurance policy will cover you in the event of storm damage. Ask about Southern Oak Insurance today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
According to NASA, there's over 30,000 pieces of space junk larger than 10 centimeters orbiting the Earth.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Problems followed by promises followed by proof. That's the game plan for Chad and Sandy. When it comes time for you to sell your home, there is no problem that they can't promise to fix and ultimately give you the proof. Maybe you have a growing family or you're working from home and you need more space. Trust Chad and Sandy. They're the real estate expert that I would trust and recommend for the sale of your home. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Take Randall and Tammy in Keystone Heights. They say we needed to sell fast to move closer to Mom, who needed help. Sadly, our home was listed with another realtor for over 190 days. We heard Chad and Sandy's guarantee on the radio. We hired them. They launched an amazing marketing plan, sold our home in less than 30 days. We left as soon as the offer was official, and Chad and Sandy handled all the rest. That promise, if they don't sell your home, they will buy it. Call the agents I trust and recommend. Chad and Sandy at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. For the first time since 2012, UNF men's basketball opens the season at home at the Nest. Matthew Driscoll and the Ospreys begin their season tonight against Coastal Georgia.
Where we're at, where we're going, doesn't change. You need to understand that. Expectations don't change, but appreciation has gotten through the roof. And that I'm very proud of and I'm thankful for.
UNF and Coastal Georgia tip off tonight at 7 o'clock. UNF has also announced a leadership change within men's soccer. 13-year head coach Derek Marinatis will step down and transition into a role within athletics development. It's 78 degrees at 4 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Deborah Foreman moment.
Oh, yes.
Every show,
I love every time he plays this.
Yeah. Every show should have a Deborah Foreman moment. Okay, and then you move on.
He plays this, and he plays Moving in Stereo by the Cars, which, of course, makes us think of Phoebe Cates.
That's exactly right.
Phoebe Cates and Deborah Foreman.
Those are very
queens
good moments. Those are very good moments.
Of the 80s.
Holly Terrell, by the way, is giving away prizes. They are thanking everybody for playing here. So we are Holly's going to finish that up, and then she's going to join us afterwards. But a fantastic event here. The Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida. 8th Annual McKenzie's Beaches Boys and Girls Club Golf Tournament. And they raise so much money. By the way, just so you know, there are 56 clubs now in town. There's 56 Boys and Girls Clubs in the Jacksonville area. They serve 5,500 kids a year here. Hot meal leadership programs. Think about that. 5,500 kids. That's an amazing. It's really, Hayes, it's an amazing number.
It's awesome. They were telling us that it was about 12 clubs 8 years ago.
Yeah.
That's how much it's grown because of this great community and the support that it's given it.
And that's exactly right. So congratulations to them. And this is the Beaches Club, but there's so many really terrific clubs that serve so many important people. All right, we'll get back to this coming up. So we'll certainly meet with Holly in just a bit. She does a great job with this golf tournament. Let's stay on the Jags for a second. Interesting. Doug Peterson today, I'm a little surprised, said that Ezra Cleveland is not the left guard. He'll be the backup. That Walker Little is the left guard. Does that surprise you at all?
It does surprise me because you don't normally make a trade for a backup in this league. And, I'm sure Ezra Cleveland's like, wait, hang on a second here.
Yeah.
I was starting in Minnesota.
Yeah.
You traded for me, and now I'm a backup here.
Yeah.
So I think it'll get ironed out. I would imagine there was probably some hurt feelings that Doug Peterson is trying to massage over with Walker Little. But at the end of the day, it's going to be Ezra Cleveland. It's just a matter of, is it going to be against San Francisco? Is it going to be against Tennessee the next week? Is it going to be, later down the road? Ezra Cleveland's going to be the left guard. Walker Little is not equipped to be a left guard in this league. I don't think – it's not his fault. He's never played it. So I just think that from a mental standpoint, the Jaguars are going to find – Walker Little's a tackle, and he could be a very good one. And unfortunately, they got Cam Robinson at left. I mean, it's a good problem, but you've got, two pretty good tackles that you like. Cam Robinson at left and the first-round rookie Anton Harrison at right. And so – I understand they've got 6 really good linemen for 5 spots, but I think they're making a mistake by leaving Walker Little at left guard and having him kind of find his way at the position when you have an established veteran like an Ezra Cleveland who you go and pinpoint and say, this is a guy we're going to trade a pick for. Your offensive line coach, Phil Rauscher, has coached him. So it's not like Ezra Cleveland's got to get used to he's got to get used to the playbook, but he's certainly used to his offensive line coach and the techniques that he looks for. So I think it's only a matter of time before Ezra Cleveland is the starting left guard.
And we'll see whether or not that's the case or not. I think Walker Little will be a good left guard. I also think that Ezra Cleveland will be a good left guard. And here's the thing: what a good problem. Well, I mean, if you go from an area where you weren't sure who to play, and look, Tyler Shatley did great, but Tyler's not a guy that you wanted to start throughout the course of a season. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to have him be a backup center in a backup spot. So now all of a sudden I hope you're right, and that it's a good problem, because I like the fact that that whether it's Walker Little, Ezra Cleveland, whoever, there's a pretty damn good player not starting. That's good. I mean, you want to get to that point.
Well, and it was interesting too in Doug's answer, because he talked about more long term about Brandon Sheriff and Tyler Shatley are getting up there in age.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I mean, I don't think you have to go into any of that. I mean, so now Brandon Sheriff is having to, listen to his head coach basically saying this is his last year in town. And, again, it didn't have to be put in that perspective. Doug could have just said, look, Ezra just got here. We traded for him during the bye week. He hasn't even practiced with us yet. It'd be unfair to play him, this early. We'll evaluate it as we continue. But Walker Little is going to be the left guard, because it's just not fair for us to put Ezra Cleveland in there immediately when he hasn't practiced with us. So that probably would have been, if Doug could, rewind the clock, that probably would have been the better way to answer that, and not really go into the whole, well, we're probably cutting Brandon Sheriff because he's getting older and he's expensive in the offseason, and Tyler Shatley's getting older. So it's good to have, Ezra Cleveland's a free agent, so there's no guarantee he's going to be back here. So anyway, I just thought it was kind of interesting, and it probably would have been better just to say, we got to get Ezra Cleveland up to speed before we feel comfortable putting him out there as the starting left guard.
I like the fact that there's some depth. I hope there's some depth other spots. I hope Zay Jones plays. That's the one, and I can tell you they're concerned about his knee.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good.
It doesn't. So, and I think he matters. I hope Tyson Campbell plays. The impression people got that heard the presser today is that they're probably going to have him.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think that. Do you think that?
I think that. I think they'll have Campbell, Cisco, Walker Little. I think Zay Jones is the one that
that's the one they're not sure about. Yeah. So let's hope that happens, and I clearly hope that happens. So we'll see whether or not it does. I will tell you this. I also think I love the fact that the off week came last week, and again, wear and tear on a running back doesn't affect you in season. wear and tear. People always talk about wear and tear on a running back. I think wear and tear on a running back, Hayes, affects the career of the running back and how long you have a running back. But I don't think it has much effect on this year. But I'm glad Travis Etienne, who's become such a workhorse to this team, and now one of the real developing storylines will be, because Tank Bigsby fumbled again, will he no longer be the backup? Has Dearness Johnson become the backup? Will JaMychal Hasty play some, who played a lot last year? And if indeed that's the case, does that mean more Travis Etienne than you would have expected? Or did Tank Bigsby just have a Devin Lloyd moment, needed to go sit down for a while, catch your breath, and then get back out there? But having said all that, they're not going to win games against the teams like the San Francisco 49ers without an awful lot of Travis Etienne. I think you see number one an awful lot on Sunday afternoon.
I think you have to, because of how San Francisco plays defense and what they're good at and what they're not. Now, the numbers would tell you that they're very good against the run. They're fifth against the run, and they're 19th versus the pass. So you would think, okay, well, you want to throw it all over San Francisco, but that's not the case. The 49ers just don't get tested much on the ground. Now, big reason for that is what you mentioned earlier. A lot of their victories have been routes where the opponent can't really run the ball in the second half. So they're fifth against the run in yardage, but they're 18th against the run when it's just yards per play. So when somebody runs the ball against San Francisco's below average at defending it. It's just that they do such a good job of building leads that the opponent can't run the ball much. Therefore, they don't get a bunch of yards. The 49ers, it makes their run defense look like something it really isn't. So the 49ers have a subpar run defense, and that's where Travis Etienne has got to be utilized to really take a lot of the heat off of Trevor Lawrence in that offensive line in terms of pass protection, and just have Etienne go, hopefully, wild on the ground to the tune of 125 yards.
What do you expect from Chase Young? Does he start? Is he on a pitch count?
I think pitch count.
It's got to be at some point.
I would think. I mean, I would think he plays, and but I would think 20, 25. And that doesn't have much to do with physically. Obviously, he's ready. He could go the whole game.
Right.
From a physical standpoint. I mean, I would think scheme and getting used to everything. Probably more like 20 to 25.
And it's been a lot of stuff. I mean, he just gets traded. He goes across country. He learns a scheme. He's got to fly back across country to play in a game. I mean, there's more to that than people realize. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to that, I think. And so we'll see if he wants to play. I'm telling you, this game has got all the makings, man. And listen, I get excited about every game. I get excited about scrimmages. I'm that guy. But this game's got all the makings, man. I think it'll be a sellout. I think it'll feel that way. And I'll say what I said before. I'm gonna continue to say this. Again, I'll never tell you how to make your money and what to do and how to gain how to use your disposable income and how to gain more disposable income. And I understand there's some tickets like that Chiefs game that are you make a lot of money if you sell your tickets. But if you can control it, don't sell the tickets to 49ers fans.
Oh, yeah.
Let's keep Jaguar fans in this thing. And again, I feel like I'm telling people how to spend their money, how to earn money. I don't mean it that way. But I want to see Teal in that bad boy. You know that?
Well, isn't this the reason you buy season tickets
for
your team to be 6-2?
It's going to be 72 degrees.
Right.
Okay. It's not. 72 is the high.
Yeah. I mean,
so the game's going to be played in the 60s and the 70s. It's going to be gorgeous weather.
What's the point of being a season ticket holder if this is the ticket you sell?
That's exactly right. And that, by the way, is the bottom line. You said it way more succinctly than I did. Why be a season ticket holder if you're selling this one?
Right.
Yeah,
the team has done everything you could ask for.
I'll even give you a little bit of the benefit of the doubt on the Kansas City game. It was hot. I mean, it was hot. You know, okay, even though that was still Kansas City. This is going to be 72 degrees. I mean, I'm telling you, don't sell the ticket. Don't. And listen, I understand people love coming to Florida. People love coming to Jacksonville. We have gorgeous beaches. We have gorgeous golf. It's gorgeous this time of year. We're 2 hours from Disney. We're not far from St. Simon's. I get all that. We have good stuff here. But let them get their tickets somewhere else. Let them go when they play Tampa or whoever the hell. You know,
let them watch the game on TV.
Yeah, I did. But I really, I can't say this enough. I really hope there's not a lot of red in that stadium. I'm going to hope that and hope that and hope that.
I'll be surprised if that's the case. I mean, these guys love their team, and
I agree with you.
I can't imagine that. You know, for a game this big, we'll just make.
I agree with you. It's a great fan base, and I'm certainly not implying that it's not. But let's have everybody use your ticket. I hope that's what happens. We'll take a break. When we come back, more NFL talk. Again, Holly Terrell will join us from the Boys and Girls Club in a bit. But when we come back, what a weekend in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that was a good one yesterday morning. You had the Dallas Cowboys in our picks.
I did.
Were you watching live?
Was not. I was at a wedding.
Okay.
So it was probably better for
you would not have been happy
for my health.
Yeah.
I did. I got to listen to the game on the final probably 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of my heart ripped out, but probably not if I had watched all 60
You probably
minutes.
would not have been happy that Dak on the last play of the game threw to a guy at the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't have liked that.
Yeah.
Or the 2-yard line where he was tackled.
Yeah,
you would have preferred him
the
to
rub
go
of the greens.
into the end zone. What you would have preferred.
Yeah.
So there's that. We'll take a break. More in a moment. Let's talk some NFL. It's 1010 XL and 92.5 FM.
From the big hit, the ball comes out to the clutch catch. Performance Painting presents the high performance play of the game on 1010XL. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. When deciding what lawyer to trust with your car accident or injury case, the most reliable way is reviews and results. You want to be treated well, and you want a great result. Woolsey Morecambe's reviews are through the roof, and I challenge any law firm to compare results. Clients continue switching to us from other firms because we continue delivering. Recently, a car accident client left a big firm, and Woolsey Morecambe got her 10 times what they said it was worth. If you want to be treated right and want great results, call Woolsey Morecambe, 638-4235.
Are you a business owner looking to grow, sell, acquire, or even go public with your company? Need help to find funding or business partners? Otterson Wealth Advisors will evaluate your company and provide the guidance that's right for you and your business needs. Maybe you're ready for retirement and need a succession plan for your business. Let Otterson Wealth Advisors guide you through the process. Visit OttersonAdvisors.com. Otterson Wealth Advisors, your goals, our expertise. Raymond James Associates, Inc., member New York Stock Exchange, SIPC.
Hey, this is Jason with Bueller Air Conditioning. Why do we love to go to that awesome grocery store where shopping is a pleasure? Why do we choose that amazing chicken sandwich where the service is fast and friendly and it's always their pleasure? You see, those brands are a promise. Here at Bueller Air, our team is committed to serving the customer and delivering that same kind of brand promise. Our mission is to be the most trusted brand with friendly and professional service every single time. Give us a call today or visit BuellerAir.com.
Pickett here with Zero Res. Let them help you get ready for the holiday. Book today and Zero Res will clean your carpets for only $49 a room. Let's give you 25% off your tile and grout cleaning. Zero Res, man. Spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. You dream it. We build it. CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Turn your backyard into an outdoor living oasis with CSS. Your number one choice for custom outdoor kitchens, grills, fireplaces, pergolas, and outdoor living. Because
you dream it, we build it. CSS.
There are only 10 Friday nights in a high school football season. That's why every one counts. After the game, join Hacker and Andrew Gibson.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Friday Night Lights.
Brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Folks, football season off and running, and so is truck season with the powerful Chevy Silverado. You can take on anything. Now, Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be Northeast Florida's Silverado truck headquarters. They've got the largest inventory on the ground, outstanding cash incentives, and the best price guarantee. Now, with thousands of dollars in discounts and incentives and nearly 200 Silverados in stock, your perfect truck is waiting for you right now at Nimnick Chevrolet. Plus, well-qualified buyers can get rates as low as 0% APR financing. That's right, 0% APR, no payments for 90 days on select Silverado 1500 pickup. You can shop online 24/7 at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership conveniently located at Park and Cassett. It's football season. It's also truck season. So head to Nimnick today. That's Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. Chevy. Find new roads.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
The shoulder is one of the body's largest joints, prone to a variety of injuries and conditions that cause pain. Dr. George Bari here, and at Bari Orthopedics, we know an active lifestyle can lead to serious joint pain. We can help with an accurate diagnosis and treatment for a full spectrum of shoulder injuries, from arthritis, bursitis, tendonitis, or rotator cuff and labral tearing. Bari Orthopedics can help. If you or a loved one suffers from shoulder pain, don't hesitate to call or log on to bariorthopedics.com.
Get this thing unwrapped here.
Duval! Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Hey, hon, the sink isn't draining well. Kind of makes it sound like this.
What's that sound again? Sounds like hair down the drain.
Mine?
Well, I'm no pro. We should call Duck Duck Rooter and make the sound for them.
Duck Duck Rooter. However you describe your plumbing problem, we have your solution. Duck Duck Rooter. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
904-862-6769. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
And we welcome you back to the program. We're live at Atlantic Beach Country Club. They just finished off the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida 8th Annual McKenzie Beaches Boys and Girls Club Golf Tournament. And I think Holly Terrell's going to join us in a minute. I think she's headed this way. She just finished off giving up all the prizes.
Fantastic presentation.
It really was. And a packed tournament, a fun tournament. And I mean to tell you, you talk about gorgeous weather. The weather is about as good as you could ever get out here. So I think Holly's going to join us in just a minute. I think she's wrapping up. We're going to wave her over here for a second and talk a little bit about our golf tournament. So here she comes. We are ready. I want to see if she's out of breath after all that talking.
That was impressive.
That was impressive. Holly joins us now. Holly Terrell is the chairman of this event and a member of the board of the Beaches Boys and Girls Club. How you doing?
I'm so fantastic. We just raised a bunch of money. We had a beautiful setting. The golf course was gorgeous. The weather couldn't have been better, and everybody was generous. So, hey.
And you gave away all the prizes. They were really happy with you.
Right?
You were the prize person.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Holly, how long have you been involved with this golf tournament? It's the 8th. I know it's the 8th event.
8 years.
You've done it all from the get-go?
Absolutely.
Why the golf tournament? Why is it so successful?
I think because it's local and it's community-driven, and I think everybody wants to help kids at the end of the day, and the Boys and Girls Club has such a great reputation. And then what Paul Martinez has done here locally, going from 11 clubs to 56 clubs in 8 years, it feels unprecedented.
Yeah, it really does.
Good rhythm.
Yeah, it's fantastic momentum. And Holly, just talk to us a little bit about how people can get involved with their time, with their money. If they couldn't come to this, how can they donate? And sort of the mission statement of what the Boys and Girls Club is offering the use of our community.
Sure. So the easiest way to get involved is to go to our website, which is www.bcgmgc.com. BGNFL.org, which stands for Boys and Girls Club of North Florida. And they can go online and volunteer. They have to register and get background checked, of course. And then there's also all of our events, which we have another golf tournament coming up in just a couple weeks, the Greatest Futures Golf Tournament. We have a clay shoot next May, and then all of our events leading thereafter.
Holly, talk about the Boys and Girls Club. You're involved with the Beaches Club, but like you said, there's 56 of them in town. How do they affect children? How do kids get involved in it? Talk a little bit about the whole model, because it's a wonderful model.
It is a wonderful model. And, at the end of the day, I'm a mom, right? I have 2 boys, and I have resources, and I can help take care of them. But the Boys and Girls Club brings kids in that need after-school care. They need to be maybe help with tutoring or their homework. They're also provided a hot meal. This is one of the big advantages of COVID, is now all of our clubs all the kids are fed a hot meal every single day.
Right.
And that's huge. I mean, I think most of us take for granted that we're going to eat dinner, but these kids get dinner at our clubs. And then they're also just creating community. And I think that's the biggest thing as we look to the future is how do we get our kids away from the cell phone and away from isolation, and how do they get connected? Maybe they want to go into our culinary program. Maybe they want to go into our STEM program, our dance program, our haircut program, whatever it is. I mean, there's something for the kids, but it's different today in 2023 than it was 30 years ago. And I think that's what we have to remember and evolve with our kids.
How do you get kids involved if there is a kid in need?
Great question. So we work with a lot of the principals, and we work with a lot of the guidance counselors, and then, word of mouth. Kids say, hey, I go to the Boys and Girls Club, you should come too. And so it's a natural attraction. And that's the fun thing about the beaches is we now have 4 clubs that we're serving, not just the McKenzie Beaches, which was kind of our original one. We're now in Mayport Elementary. We're at Jordan Park and Gail Baker, which is our teen center, which most people know it as Donner Park.
Holly Terrell with us from the Boys and Girls Club, the Beaches Club. So can any kid come?
Absolutely.
I mean, how if the kid says I want to come, or a parent says, then they're in, right?
They are, as long as we're not on a waiting list,
Right,
which
right.
we have been known to be on waiting lists,
Sure.
which is why we keep growing and going into different parks and
Yeah.
schools in existence. And the best part is there's no charge.
Which is awesome.
So that's awesome, which is why we need more events and more community support so that we can underwrite this fantastic organization.
From a staffing standpoint, is that part of the challenge? Is finding people, paying people, the whole bit?
Do you have a staffing problem? I think everybody does,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
And not only do we need staff, we need quality staff. We
Yeah.
need staff that want to take care of kids,
Yeah.
that want to give back to the kids. And we pay well, but it's still, staffing's difficult for sure.
What's the age range?
5 to 18.
Okay.
So kindergarten to seniors in high school.
And you guys have 56 clubs. Is there as you continue to expand, is there an area that you're looking to grow into?
We are. We're looking to grow into the west side and the north side. We actually reach all the way up to the Fernandina area, down south to the St. Augustine, and we go out west to Alachua, Gainesville area.
All right, so tell us about, you said you had some events coming up, another golf tournament, a clay shoot. Tell us about those.
So we have another golf tournament out at TPC, Greatest Futures, and that represents all of 56 clubs. And then our signature run, the McKenzie's Run, is coming up. That also takes place out there. And we have great momentum. A lot of families come out, super kid-friendly oriented. I've run it pregnant. I've run it pushing strollers. I've done the 1 mile fun run, and I brought my dog last year. So it's super fun. And the clay shoot will be next May, which is another great time to be out and outside and enjoy the outdoors.
If there's a group that couldn't get out, you got a lot of fans out here.
Hey, man.
If there's a group that couldn't come out and play golf today but would like to get involved for next year, how do they go about doing that? And how many did you have in the field today?
So today's group was sold out, which is awesome, but we're always looking to raise the bar with sponsorships. So this event is coordinated with a barbecue bash. It took place last Thursday night at Atlantic Beach, or ABBQ, and we raised over $80,000 at that event.
Wow.
And we did it more for the non-golfers, right? And so we don't want to limit it, and so they can get involved with being a dinner sponsor. They can get involved with being a sauce sponsor. And then our golf tournament is going to sell out again next year, but we would always love to raise the bar and get more corporate sponsors in at the $5,000 and $10,000 level.
Well, Holly Terrell, you do a great job with it. Did I hear you say you're a big Seminole fan?
Absolutely. Go Noles, and I'll be there next weekend. Miami, FSU, baby.
I mean, this is a big year for the Noles, right? I mean,
it is a big
there's
year.
a karma. There's the Noles. The golf tournament did well today. I can see Can you see this, Hayes? I can see it all happening here.
She can't lose.
There's mojo going on.
Yes.
Listen, I'm married to a bulldog, so I've got a lot of energy in the house already. But you know what? The Seminoles deserve a good time. They've got a great coach. They've got some great players. And the legend Bobby Bowden, I think, is finally breathing some new life into this energy at the Seminole Stadium for sure.
So your husband's a bulldog.
Yes.
You're a Nole.
Yes.
Then you probably love Hayes and I, who are Gators. We'd probably be very popular.
She probably
in your
takes
house.
pity on
Right,
us.
right.
You know what? Back in the day, I used to recruit at the University of Florida, and I decided back then it was a good school academically.
Right.
I still didn't like the football team, or maybe your coach Spurrier, but whatever. It's a good school, and so I'm pro Florida teams.
You're pro everybody. Holly
Minus
Terrell.
Miami.
Congratulations on this tournament, Holly. You did a great job with it. I'm around a lot of these, and I'm serious about this. It's a great vibe. You can sense it. Not just did you raise a lot of money, had this gorgeous day, but people are invested in what you're doing here. So congratulations on that.
Well, thank y'all for being out here today. I appreciate it.
We're happy to do it. Holly Terrell from the Boys and Girls Club out here at the beach. More in a moment. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
Every Friday, 1010XL picks the weekend's games.
It's one of the greatest rivalries in all of sport.
Listen for the Otterson Wealth Advisors risk-reward picks of the week.
There are no points for second place.
Otterson Wealth Advisors. Your goals, our expertise.
Mia here. Believe it or not, the holidays are a-coming. So why not make the trip to Grandma's house in style and comfort with a little help from my friends at Arlington Toyota. Arlington has over 575 new Toyotas available, and your new Toyota purchase comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty. Arlington even has all makes and models of used inventory. I'm talking over 400 on the lot. You even get Arlington's 30-day exchange program with your pre-owned purchase. Why wait? Shop in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Frank Frangie here. It's time to give your vehicle the care it deserves. Big Chief Tire is your go-to destination for general maintenance. They keep jacks rolling, and that means ensuring your vehicle is in tip-top shape. From oil changes to brake repairs, their team of experts is dedicated to keeping you safe on the road. Visit the website at bigchieftire.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment at any of their 5 Jacksonville locations.
Hey, Jags fans. Renewal by Andersen is a proud partner with your favorite team, and they bring that same commitment to excellence to your home's windows and doors. With their advanced Fibrex material and energy-efficient glass options, their windows and doors are the perfect choice for your next home improvement project. Let them help you bring more light and life into your home. Schedule a complimentary consultation today. Renewal by Andersen, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CGC 1527613.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? One-to-One Financial, we're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at one-to-one-fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Toilet or shower not draining? Water bill high? So many issues you want to cry? Call Mr. Rooter of Jacksonville. Have your number 2 business serviced by your number 1 plumber. Let us do your dirty work. Call us today.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 6, 1869, the first intercollegiate football game took place. Players used their hands or feet as Rutgers beat Princeton 6-4.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. the best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. I recorded this only 3 days after starting Awaken 180, and the results are startling. 7 pounds gone in 3 days. I chatted with Mike Dempsey about the results, and he's like, I told you. He dropped 25 pounds in just over a month. I certainly have more than 25 pounds to lose, but with the results I'm having so far, I'll reach my goal in no time. The program is pretty much dummy-proof. My words, not Awakening 180s, of course. And why is it dummy-proof? It's because my coach, Sarah, does all the work. She built a plan based on my body, my habits, my taste buds for that matter, and all I do is follow it. I'm eating to lose weight, and it's a game changer. Stay tuned because these results will continue until I drop my pounds. If you're in the same boat I was, wishing the weight away, make the call. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Frank Frangie here. This Thanksgiving, only at the Southern Steer Butcher website. For a limited time, order your never-frozen Amish-raised turkey. Raised with care, free from hormones, steroids, and artificial ingredients. For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Post-Game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Malfunctions in your electrical panel can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
888-8-SPARKY. Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
This is former NFL quarterback David Garrard. If your knees have taken a beating and you're finally ready to do something about it, then let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. Come on, do your knees a favor.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, frustrated taking pills that don't work. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough treatments with men lasting longer than ever without pain or surgery.
Call now. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results right in the office. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Be here and be loud as the Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans Sunday, November 19th. Be at the bank for this divisional rivalry when Trevor Lawrence leads the team in an exciting matchup. Plus, join us as we celebrate Salute to Service and honor our military all game day long. Seats may be sold out, but a limited number of standing room only tickets are still available, so don't miss your chance to be there. Visit jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000 now.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Pro Football Hall of Famer Tony Baselli was a guest this morning of The Drill and was asked what he wants to see more of from the Jaguars offense in the second half of the season.
Getting a little bit more vertical. I think they were very horizontal in their offensive play calling, partly because I'm not sure they fully trust the interior of that offensive line to hold up on, kind of more shots down the field. So, maybe with Ezra Cleveland and Walker Little coming back, and it'll be interesting to see how that shuffles out on the offensive line, what they do there.
Pro Football Hall of Famer Tony Baselli this morning on The Drill. The 6-2 Jaguars come off the bye week to host the 5-3 San Francisco 49ers. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
All right, I got a question.
I've got an answer.
Why do we go back to standard time? Why don't we just stay on daylight savings?
I don't.
Is there like a reason?
What is it?
I'm not smart
farming
enough
or something?
Is it about farming?
I guess.
So it all comes down to farming. At the end of the day, it's about farming.
We're the only country that can feed ourselves on Earth. How about that?
How about that?
And it's because of, I'm assuming, this time change.
So we can feel.
I honestly have no idea.
I
would assume it's for farming. Beats me.
Does anybody like standard time better?
I don't think so.
Is there anybody that says, I like it better when it's dark at 5?
At 4 o'clock in the afternoon,
And like in the Midwest, it's like dark now.
Yeah.
I like dark now.
It's a bad call. It's a bad call.
Will you look into that for me?
I think Billy Napier is responsible for it.
We need Lauren, because Lauren will be Googling it.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, by now,
we do lose that.
Yeah, right now she'd be explaining the whole thing.
She would.
She'd be breaking it down.
Yeah.
The whole
in
thing.
about 1.7 seconds, she would have had it up.
I don't know anybody that says, "Whew, sure, I'm glad standard time got here."
Yeah.
It's now dark at 3.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, no one feels that way.
I mean,
wasn't there talk about we were gonna, like it was before Congress, that we were gonna end it?
I thought it was. What happened there?
I mean, I don't even know why we have it, so I'm the wrong guy to
Yeah,
I thought we were like on the cusp.
Can't you people do anything over there?
I mean, we were on the cusp, weren't we?
I thought, but I don't know why we couldn't get that one across the goal line.
Okay.
Because I don't know anyone that likes it.
Yeah, I mean, if we could, I think we ought to. And then I think once we do that, then if we could adjust the sun just a bit, so it's like light till like 8:15 every day too.
Yeah.
Because we even lose that, and that's not as political as it is like natural. But I mean, if we're working on stuff.
Yeah, we'll get in the lab and see if we can figure something out.
And by the way, I could care less in the mornings. It could be dark till 9. I don't care.
Yeah,
just let me have the afternoons. Maybe I'll take dark till 8:30 and light till 8:30.
And the depressing thing
why
is,
can't we do? I mean, it's 2023. Why can't we do that?
These are all great questions. But it's like, and the depressing thing is, it's only going to get darker earlier.
I know.
Until December 21st.
Yeah. Right.
And then finally it starts somewhat getting. I mean, it's a debacle. It's a bad idea. It's been a bad idea, and I hope that they grow more wheat and corn thanks to this, because I can't see a benefit to it.
we were on vacation in eastern Canada, just kind of north of the Niagara area, this past summer, and I'm telling you, Hayes, it was 9:45 and light out. We almost moved. Okay?
Wow.
I mean, it was 9:45 and light out. It felt like we were in Alaska. I'm not making that. It was 9.
That is weird.
We went to dinner at like 7:30 at this cool Niagara on the Lake, this cool little downtown, and we found a little pub, and we're sitting in the pub drinking and sitting outside, and it was nice. It was nice out. It was starting to get dark a little bit. It was 9:45. So I may move to Niagara on the Lake just for that.
Yeah,
That's my idea. I don't have any sports teams.
That seems extreme, but hopefully this will be over before we know it.
What game caught your attention in the NFL games? I mean, the Dolphins-Chiefs game was the marquee game. It's close. It wasn't a particularly good game.
No.
It was a close game.
What stands out to me is the Chiefs have a superb defense.
Yeah,
and they deserve a lot of credit for
agree.
building that, because, they tackle phenomenally well,
right.
And their eye control is so good, particularly with all the window dressing that the Dolphins give you from a shift standpoint and motions, and they had a couple plays where McDaniel drew something up and Tua executed it where they fooled Kansas City, but for the most part, I thought the Chiefs were really locked in. They fly sideline to sideline. Right. The Dolphins were trying to get that perimeter run game going, and it was consistently 1 yard, 2 yards, no yards, because of how active and fast those Chiefs defenders are. And that has been a surprise, because 2 or 3 years ago, the Chiefs' defense was a liability, and now it's the strength of their team. They're almost a better version of what the Jaguars are, and they beat the Jaguars. So I'm not trying to slight the Jaguars, but they're surprisingly being carried more by their defense than they are by their offense. I want to say Kansas City's second in the league in scoring defense. I mean, it's incredible how well they're playing.
Peter King asked Patrick Mahomes, "Is this the best defense of your run, of your years here?" And Mahomes said, "Well, I'll tell you this, I think it's the best defense in the league." And it might be. It might be the best defense. And nobody saw that coming.
No.
So are the Dolphins frauds?
Yes.
They are. They I don't know if I'm convinced they're frauds, but I am convinced they've got to prove it. They got to beat a good team at some point, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's you look at who they've beaten. They've beaten the Chargers, who are perennial underachievers. They've swept a pitiful New England Patriots team. They've beaten Denver. That was the game they put up 70 on Denver when they had no idea what they were doing. They've beaten the Giants and they've beaten the Panthers, two of the worst teams in the NFL. So, I mean, look, there is something to be said for beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And the Dolphins are a good team. I'm not trying to say that they're not a good team, but they're a fraud when it comes to a championship contender, because anytime they play a team of substance, they lose. They lost to the Chiefs. They've lost to the Bills. They've lost to the Eagles. And so I think they'll make the tournament. They may even win the AFC East. But I will be picking the road team to go into Miami and win that game when we get to it.
Yeah, speaking, by the way, of the Patriots, I knew when Tom Brady was finally gone there would be a drop-off. That's an obvious thing. I don't know that I thought suddenly they'd be the worst team in the AFC. Now, the NFC's got some real dogs. They got the Cardinals and the Panthers, and the Giants aren't very good. But the AFC, they're far and away the worst team in the AFC. I never saw that coming. I mean, I thought somehow Bill Belichick would will them to decent, maybe not good. He's not been able to will them to mediocre, to middle of the pack. That's a troubled franchise, man.
It is, and you know, it's good to see because they had so much success, and it's
I agree with that.
Yeah. So I mean, they're really in the wilderness because, you know, and it seems like Belichick's going to stay on. I was curious to see if he would try and find greener pastures and maybe go to a place that's got a quarterback in place like the Chargers if they move on from Brandon Staley, like I expect they will.
You thought he's Phil Jackson.
I thought he'd Phil Jackson,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Just
now
when
you hear
one good
reports
player's
that
gone, go to where the other good players are.
And now you hear reports that he's got an extension, and then there's rumors this weekend that yes, but maybe they're going to work something out, and he's going to go coach the Commanders. Why he'd want to do that? Because to me, you're in the same spot you're in now. I'm not a big believer in Sam Howell. I mean, I think he's okay, but he's not Justin Herbert. And so New England is in a bad place, and you know, again, they'll have a top 5 pick. It looks like. So is that, you know, maybe it'd be ironic. It might be a Jacksonville kid replacing a Jacksonville kid. Maybe that's Carson Beck.
Yeah.
Going to New England after Caleb Williams and Drake May and, you know, are off the board. And who knows? I mean, that pick for New England could even continue to get better because, I mean, we've been going through their schedule. We did this before the season even started.
Right.
Their schedule is a murderer's row.
It's a brutally tough schedule.
It is awful. And so, you know, there's probably not a whole lot of wins that are coming to the Patriots. They'll win a couple more, but I'd be surprised if it's more than 3 or 4.
Yeah, I never saw this. Again, everybody's got to rebuild at some point, and it proved. Really, I'll say this: when they were even at the end of the greatness, the teams didn't feel great. They had Brady,
right?
And now they always had a handful of good defensive players, Gerard Mayo and Richard Seymour, and Gilmore. I mean, they had you know what I mean. But they always had Rodney Harrison. They had a handful of good, but it wasn't a litany of good players. It was Brady. They never had great receivers. You know, they changed out running backs every year. The line was pretty good, but it was. And if you now go back in retrospect, gosh, that's how great he was because. With all due respect to Belichick, the more I see this, Hayes, it wasn't Brady and Belichick. It was Brady. I mean, really.
It's striking how just unbelievably you feel differently about the two. It felt like when Brady left, it was going to be like, well, they'll both probably have some success. Brady will probably have some success in Tampa. Belichick will probably be able to keep the Patriots at least afloat and in the playoffs. It's been Tyson versus Spinks. I mean, Tom Brady had the greatest, you know, second act of really anybody.
He won a
wins
Super Bowl.
the Super Bowl in his
Super
first year
Bowl.
with the Bucks,
who
haven't exactly. I mean, they've won it before, but they're not like the stable, you know, franchise in the NFL. So he goes to the Bucks, wins it in his first year with the Bucks, and they were good because he had to put them on his back. They were good the other years he was there. They won the division. And the Patriots have just gotten worse and worse and worse. And, again, there doesn't seem to be any real light unless, you know, they hit on a quarterback, you know. But it's looking pretty bleak.
I mean, the Bucs not just getting good, but winning the Super Bowl with Brady, while the Patriots weren't just bad, they're historically bad. boy, really does take the shine off Belichick. Because, and look, like to your point, if Brady left, and all of a sudden the Bucs were good, they made the playoffs, and the Patriots went from being great to winning 8 or 9 games, 9 or 10 games. Okay, it was massive both ways. I mean, the like Tyson Spinks. I mean, Brady won the Super Bowl, and the Patriots are the worst team in the AFC.
Yeah.
I mean, with Belichick still there.
If Brady was playing this season in Tampa, they'd be 6-2.
Correct.
I mean, they've won 4 with Mayfield.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you, they have at least 2 more wins with Brady.
Yeah,
and so I mean, he left of his own. No one told him
they're 3 and
you've got to leave. I mean, he just decided I'm done. I'm retiring.
They're 3-5, but they were up 10 on the Texans yesterday.
Yeah,
so
they would be a minimum of 5-3 with Brady.
Yeah, I agree with you. So it's just amazing. So final thought about the AFC, then we'll go to break and bring in Johnny O, the O Show. Boy, the Ravens are good. The Ravens are 7-2. Obviously, they outplayed the Steelers. That's still one of the great smoke and mirrors games of all time.
Yeah,
they may have the best team. They may. I'm telling you, if the Ravens and the Chiefs played right out here in the parking lot here at Atlantic Beach Country Club, I think I'd take the Ravens.
I take the Chiefs, but I get your point. And the Ravens have the best defense in the NFL, and the Chiefs are right behind them. I think with the Ravens, it's simply will Lamar stay healthy, because he hasn't the previous 2 years.
Well, that's the thing.
So will he be there in crunch time when they need him to be there? Because of how he plays, he's always going to be more susceptible to injury than other quarterbacks that aren't as reliant on their mobility. And I still think the receivers for the Ravens are too inconsistent. And, and so I think that is something. Now, the Chiefs are working through that as well. I'm not wild about their receivers. Rookie Rashid Rice seems like he's starting to figure it out. And obviously they have Kelsey, and the Ravens have Andrews. But it would be close. I would give the nod to Kansas City if they played tomorrow. But certainly the Ravens, what they're doing defensively is incredibly impressive. And obviously from a special team standpoint, you've got a great kicker in Justin Tucker.
Right.
So I'd give slight edge to the Chiefs. But
you'd pick the Chiefs they played today?
I'd pick the Chiefs.
Man, I don't know. The Ravens look like they're pretty good. By the way, Jets play tonight. Who did the Jets play tonight? Chargers?
They play the Chargers. That's right. Justin Herbert versus Sauce Gardner.
If the Jets win that game, they're 5-3 with maybe statistically the best defense. I mean, think about that.
Certainly a defense that's had to carry the entirety of the.
They'd be 5-3 if they win.
It'd be remarkable, Robert Saleh, if they win tonight. And look, I think they probably will win tonight.
Yeah,
just because anytime you put a spotlight on the Chargers, they will. So, if I had to pick it, I'd pick the Jets. And for that reason, defensively, I think they're spectacular. And Robert Saleh has done a nice job of keeping them together. Because that's by far the most devastating injury suffered this season.
Yeah.
It's one of the most devastating injuries, I think, in the NFL the last 25 years. To lose a player like Aaron Rodgers on his, second or third offensive snap of the season?
Right.
And have to go to a kid who basically has done nothing but underwhelm.
Who's failed to this point.
Yeah, and really, I mean, he's had some moments here and there, but they're pretty few and far between for Zach Wilson. They don't have much of a ground game. I mean, it is all on their defense and their coaching staff, and they've done a nice job of, holding it together to put themselves in a position that I thought they'd be dead by this point, and they're far from dead.
Yeah, and they'll be 5-3. There's a toughness to them, Mm-hmm. Quincy Williams is playing at a great level.
He is.
I mean, he's one of the best linebackers in football. I got to say that when he got out of here, I didn't see that.
No,
I didn't see a guy that could. He always could run.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't know where to run. He seemed like a confused player here. Man, he has played at a great level.
They didn't do a very good job coaching him here.
Yeah.
For him to have the success he's having on a different staff.
He's one of the best linebackers in football. And I didn't.
So that was a big miss by that staff.
Yeah, we'll take a break. Hey, when we come back, let's get it to Jaguar football. Johnny O, the O Show, by phone today since we're on location. Johnny O joins us right after this. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
There's a certain romance to radio play-by-play.
We need you to be all strong and hot.
Experience the most play-by-play sports on 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Listen up. This weekend, you'll immediately, why can I say immediately? Come see why. Come see we. I can't say that line. And a lifetime, Beaver's still, I've not lost it. We know we aren't perfect, but we try every day to do our very best to provide the wow experience you deserve, and we're so grateful for all our amazing customers. Visit us at Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville to see just how much we appreciate you.
This holiday season, let Bono's Catering do the cooking. Bono's has been serving Jacksonville's best barbecue for almost 75 years. Make your holidays easier and more delicious with Bono's smoked turkeys and country hams. Plus, Bono's has limited time holiday sides available. Bono's will prepare everything so you can relax and enjoy the holidays with family and friends. Contact Bono's Catering today at 904-332-RIBS. That's 332-7427. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Whether it's a large commercial project or a multifamily property, trust All Pro Roofing for exceptional craftsmanship and unparalleled customer service. We use only the finest materials, ensuring durability and long-lasting results. Plus, All Pro Roofing now has a full siding and windows division. That's right, All Pro Roofing is not just about roofs anymore. All Pro Roofing, now your trusted partner for commercial roofing, multifamily projects, exterior siding, and windows. AllProRoofingLLC.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CDC 060138.
The year is almost over. Do you need cash for the holidays or want to be credit card debt-free for the new year? Call Loan Pronto today. Their Express Equity line of credit can get you $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 in as little as 5 days. Listen, if you have a ton of equity in your house and Loan Pronto can help you turn that equity into cash, you can access up to 95% of your home's value. Use the money to pay off all your credit cards, pay off personal loans, or start that home improvement project. You can get the money you need now and still keep your primary mortgage intact. So your 3% rate, it's protected. And with Loan Pronto's Express Equity Line program, 90% of the time, there's no need for an appraisal. So you can get your money super fast. Get the holiday cash you need or pay off all those credit cards before the new year. Get yourself on solid financial footing before the year ends and call Loan Pronto now. 904-999-1508, 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal Housing Lender, NLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Dan Hickett here for Bowdeny & Associates. I want to remind you that now is the perfect time to schedule your eye exam. Take advantage of your existing insurance benefits before they reset in January. Join the many satisfied patients who trust Bowdeny with their vision. Schedule your eye exam now and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with clear and healthy eyes. And remember, your deductibles reset in January, so don't miss out on the benefits you've already earned. Bowdeny & Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
In this moment, Ice 9 Kills, Kiss of Death Tour, special guests Avatar and New Year's Day. Friday, November 17th, Daly's Place. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. In this moment, Ice 9 Kills. Live in concert.
John, I'm so glad I called Clearwater to get my sprinklers, yard drainage, and seamless gutters in tip-top shape.
Thanks, Frank. It's great to see you so relaxed here at the house, away from the microphone.
Yeah, John, just hanging.
All right, well, let me go ahead and turn the sprinklers on and show you how everything works.
Wow, look at that coverage. How good is that?
All right, Frank, let's go.
Clearwater Irrigation
and Drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com. The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the smoothest local vodka you can find. Made right here in Jacksonville, Florida, 100% from corn, Brackish Vodka is the local gluten-free choice. Brackish Vodka, for those that live life slightly salty, a proud partner of the Jaguars. Brackish Vodka is now available at Golden Liquor on Kernan. Go pick up a bottle today and live life slightly salty.
I'm Shane with Renew Solutions, an expert in transforming your hardwood floors to a timeless and elegant new look. For any wood floor repairs, replace, or installs, I've got you covered at Renew Solutions. Visit RenewJacksFloors.com.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. The field is set for the high school football playoffs. Here are the round one matchups that will take place Friday night in the Jacksonville area. Creekside at Ponte Vedra, Middleburg at St. Augustine, Atlantic at Bradford, Keystone Heights at Yulee, Baldwin at Baker County, Jackson at Rains, Bishop Kenny at Bowles on 1010XL and 92.5 FM, Episcopal at Riverside, and University Christian at Trinity Christian. Those are the round one playoff matchups that will be played in the Jacksonville area on Friday night. Unless otherwise noted, kickoff for the playoff games is set for 7:30. It's 74 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Now it's time for the O Show with John Osher from Jaguars.com.
Johnny O joins us after a weekend off. Johnny, did you enjoy your off week, bye week? Good for you, Johnny?
I did. Porch Fest in Springfield, which was, as always, a great event, and watched a little ball yesterday. So it was fun. It was good.
Okay, we need more bye. We need 3 or 4 bye weeks a year, John. Can you get that done? We'll go longer. Bye weeks are fantastic.
Just make them all bye weeks, Frank.
What goes into Porch Fest?
Yeah, what is Porch Fest? Tell me about Porch Fest. What it is.
I'm not sure the number. Bands playing on porches and people drinking beer and wine in the street.
Sounds good.
What's better than that?
Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean and there's food trucks, merchandise, the whole thing. But it's sort of Springfield is sort of known for its porches. Every house has a porch. We have 4.
Right.
So it's they have bands play on porches. A few bands in like trailers and whatnot. But it's
awesome.
A great time. It really is.
You have 4 porches?
We do have 4 porches. Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Large square house and a front and back, upstairs and downstairs porch. So it's
How about that?
How many porches you got?
It's honestly 2 porches too many. You find you don't use all 4 porches when you have them.
You're over the porch limit. That's what he is. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the front porch used, the back porch you walk past into the backyard.
Okay.
The back up porch never gets used.
Okay. So really
but it's there
porch
if you want to use it, Frank. Come on over and use the porch.
You know what? Hey, we're going over to. We're going to go to the porch.
That's right.
Drink some beer and hang out on the porch. John, a big game this week because it's a game that people are going to notice. It's the number 1 game on Fox. I got to tell you though, I don't think this is a Jaguar team that gets caught up in all that. I kind of like where they are. At the midseason point, I mean, you've covered 1,000 of these. What do you think of this group? I mean, I think it's a pretty focused, grounded group of players they have down there.
Yeah, I agree, and I think they've already proven a little something to themselves, sort of bouncing back from 1 and 2. And everybody talks about what a big game Atlanta was in that respect, and then what a big game Buffalo was. Don't forget the Steelers are 5 and 3. They'd be 6 and 2 if the Jaguars hadn't beat them. Right. So it's not like this team hasn't played good teams this year so far. The Saints are 5 and 3. They would be 6 and 3 if the Jaguars hadn't beat them. So I think they've played some decent teams. This is certainly high profile in terms of if you beat this team, it makes the league notice you. But yeah. I don't think that they're going to be overwhelmed by the prove-it game. But at the same time, I do think they need to win this kind of a game to make the league take notice. And because then if you do it, you've beaten the Steelers, Bills, and 49ers during this streak. I'm not one who cares about what national media thinks because it doesn't matter. But I guess the excuse would be, well, now the 49ers have lost 4 in a row, so that would be why you don't, quote, respect them. But at some point you got to.
Yeah, absolutely. John, what did you make of Doug's comments about the left guard situation with Walker Little and Ezra Cleveland? How do you see that going, not only Sunday, but as we get further into the season?
Well, I mean, it was pretty definitive, and I'll admit I wasn't sure. I kind of went back and forth because you could see it both ways. Well, are they getting this guy to try to do something different on the interior to get like a little better push? But Doug couldn't have been clearer. Walker Little's their left guard. I think that is the way it plays out, barring injury. And in that sense, you look at the move, they knew and then had it reinforced last season that a lot of times you need 7 offensive linemen who are good to get where you want to go. You know, they needed Shatley last year, and they needed Walker Little to replace Cam. I think they wanted to get back to feeling good about 7 or 8 offensive linemen. Doug also said something interesting about Ezra could fit long term. So they're sort of down numbers at guard. If you think that Sheriff and Shatley are getting toward the end of their careers, you look at a guy like Ezra Cleveland, he gets you one more in the fold. Ezra left guard, Walker Little left tackle maybe next year if they don't keep Cam. So I think he gives you flexibility that you didn't feel before you acquired him.
Yeah, I sense this, hearing you say that, and Hayes and I talked about it earlier in the program too. I'll say one thing they've done a good job of. They've done, at least in my mind, they've done a pretty good job of having a plan in the event that veteran guy is either too expensive or doesn't come back. You talked about Sheriff. They like this Cooper Hodges guy. They just went and got Ezra Cleveland. We all know as good as Rayshon Jenkins has been, he's going to be expensive, and they drafted Antonio Johnson. And I could give you more examples. But
Sure.
That's kind of the point, isn't it, John? I think that not only do you have to play for today, but you're building this thing to stay. You're going to have Trevor Lawrence for a long time here. You're going to have Etienne for a long time. You want to build this thing to where you're a 10, 11, 12 team every year, right? I think that's part of the deal.
Yeah, and I think that I think it played in a little bit to the pass rusher thing last week. That, yes, you have a chance to win it this year. But I don't necessarily think they have to be, hey, we're pushing all chips in and then blowing it up after this year team. So I think Cleveland does fit with that. And I think you do look at Trevor Lawrence as you're in year 3 of a double-digit year, 15-year type plan. So let's make sure we can sustain it over the course of time.
Do you think Zay Jones plays Sunday?
Doesn't sound like it. Just from Doug was very confident in everybody else who was dealing with stuff before the bye, and called Zay day to day. That, I'm not saying it's all the time, but often when Doug says day to day, now we've got to see what's going to go on this week. Not feeling real great about it. So that's sort of how I took that. But Doug certainly left it open where he could, but I wouldn't think so.
John, one of the catchphrases in the NFL is tread on the tires of a running back. Travis Etienne's a very young guy, but he gets a lot of work. I know the original plan was for Tank Bigsby to take some of that off him. We saw that in the deployment of players early in the season. Now I'm guessing there's a little bit of a concern because Tank's got a ball security concern. Do you expect Dearness Johnson to move ahead of Tank? Do you expect more carries for Etienne than we might have expected? Where's that thing headed?
I don't know if it's going to be ahead. I would think you would see Dearness get some carry, some opportunities, maybe to try to prove that he can do it at a acceptable level compared to Etienne. Obviously, he's done it at an acceptable level before. I honestly think it's going to be hard, though, because I think I said it on your show before. You get to that point in a game, these games are all close, and there's not very many plays you feel like you don't need. So when you really feel like you need it right now, Travis is so good that I think they hesitate to take him out. I think they may have plans to do it, but when you really get down to needing 3rd and 3, and it's the third quarter, and you feel like momentum's maybe slipping away, you want your best player in there. So I think he's separated himself so much that it's hard to take him out.
Do you look at the AFC South as a division where the Jaguars are going to be pushed through all 18 weeks, or do you think that we'll get to the last couple of games, the Carolina game, the road game against the Titans, and the Jaguars will have already clinched it?
I think the bad radio answer is I'll tell you when they play the Texans in 3 weeks. Because I think if they beat the Texans in that game over there, it feels like the Texans are going to be the team that might be able to reel them back in. If the Texans win that game, I think you're in for an all-season thing. I still think you'll go into those last 3 games needing to do something to clinch, but I think they'll clinch it during that time, maybe with a week to go. That's sort of how I see it going. The X factor is this next stretch for the Jags. You got the Niners, the Ravens, and the Bengals. They've got to get through that, at least treading water against those teams, or else I think the Texans can have it close enough where the Jaguars need to win games at the end. So, again, not a great answer. It's sort of a we'll see. But I think that Texans game is shaping up to be huge because you got to go over there to get it.
Johnny Osher with us. It's the O Show. John, let's focus on this week for a second. You've seen the 49ers. They started out 5-0, and they were rolling people. They beat Dallas by a bunch. Then all of a sudden they struggled. What's changed with them? Obviously there's been some health with Purdy, but what's changed with them in your mind?
Yeah, they've had the injuries. Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams both out. They're expected to be back. And talking to people out there today, it's not as simple as just they got beat up and then started struggling. When Cleveland beat them to start that losing streak, really good defensive game plan, and teams have sort of mimicked that as they do, and they haven't quite figured out how to beat that yet. They've also been turning the ball over a little bit, and there's a reason they went and got Chase Young. They're a good pass rushing team, but they haven't been great, and they haven't really affected the quarterback in big situations. So those have been the holes that teams have exploited to get them, losing 3. Now, that said, obviously, when they're healthy, their roster is as good as anybody in the league. So I think the Jaguars, because they're such a good takeaway team and because they have been able to make quarterbacks make mistakes, and Jaguars are good against the run, they've got to be good at those things on Sunday to beat this team. But I think the good news is they are good at those things. So I think it's a matchup that I don't think favors San Francisco as much as the odd makers seem to think based on what came out today.
Mike Caldwell has done such an outstanding job in his second year as defensive coordinator, but this is a massive challenge for him, but also a golden opportunity going against Kyle Shanahan and all the weapons San Francisco has. What would a big defensive performance in the Jaguars win do for Mike Caldwell's career?
Yeah, you would think, you would think he's already doing it, but as you said, against a team like this, a mastermind like Shanahan, if they maintain what they've been doing, which is a pretty remarkable stat, I think it's 8 out of 8 games, they've only given up a touchdown in the first, they've held 7 of those teams under 7 points in the first half, which is why they seem so in control of all these games. If they do something like that, it's huge because he's, as criticized as he was last year, he deserves a lot of credit for how they're playing. So I think it would be huge. The Ravens in a few weeks will be huge. You got Joe Burrow. There's some big ones coming up for a lot of reputations around here.
I will tell you, this is a fun game, man. John, I'm hopeful that it's sold out. I'm hopeful that there's not 49er fans around. What's your expectation? I mean, packed house, more Jaguar fans than last time these two teams played. I mean, this is a fun game, man. This is an exciting week, I think.
Oh, yeah, I think it'll be packed house. I think the Jaguars fans – I think we're in a situation where the Jaguars fans have to be loud to drown out a faction of 49ers fans. Because, look, the reality is these historical-type teams with followings, they travel and they buy tickets from brokers. So there's going to be 49ers fans. I would expect – I don't know that, but I would expect that. But the Jaguars fans will win that battle. I thought they won it against Kansas City, even though you saw some red. So I think it's going to be that because it's sort of unavoidable in this online marketplace that we live in. But I think it's going to be, barring that, I don't want to overemphasize that. I don't think it's going to be the story on Sunday. I think Jaguars fans will be out of their minds for this. It's November. The weather should be fine. It's football as it's supposed to be. So I think it's going to be an incredible atmosphere. And, it's a game that you don't get that many to sort of prove yourself. And it does feel like outside the team especially, that's what it's going to be for the Jags.
Is Brock Purdy the real deal, in your opinion?
Yeah, I haven't watched him the way I have a Trevor. It certainly sounds like it's not fair to write him off as a system guy. That's sort of the first instinct because the 49ers are so talented. But in watching him, he makes throws and reads that you like that make you think that it's got something to do with him too. And, again, in talking to 49ers people out there, even when he has struggled in the last couple of weeks, it's not like, and I don't mean to always bury Gardner, but when Gardner was struggling here, you started hearing things like, hey, there's throws he just can't make. There's stuff that it's just not going to work. That's not what you hear about Purdy. There's plays he makes even when they're losing that makes you think he can be the guy. So jury's out, but I don't think it's fair to write him off as a system guy.
Yeah, it's well said. It's going to be a fun one, boy. I can tell you that. Two good teams, two good coaches, two good fan bases, Jags in San Francisco coming up on Sunday. That's the O Show. Great work as always, Johnny. We appreciate it. Thank you, John.
Guys, Lauren, thank you.
All right, John Ozer checking in. That is the O Show by phone this time because John is because we are on location. We'll take a break. We're going to come back and we'll talk a little college hoop. College hoop starts tonight.
How about that?
JU at home, UNF at home, Florida at home. We'll talk a little bit about all of them after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
He straps on his helmet and steps into the danger zone.
You've got a pair of bogeys, 12 o'clock.
Go behind enemy lines with Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline.
Roger, that's your bogey.
On 1010XL. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway.
Did you know the new 2023 Honda Accord Hybrid has an onboard system that charges the battery so you never have to plug it in? When you think Honda, you think quality, value, safety. Now think hybrid. Visit your local Honda dealer and experience the car of tomorrow today.
This is Mike Lynch, PGA Golf Professional. Take it from me, if you're dealing with an orthopedic issue, talk to the doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where you're treated like a pro.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros. Thanks to all of you who have allowed us to be part of your recovery. Call us at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists if you ever have a need.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control, my choice for home pest defense, and according to the reviews, the absolute best service, quality, and value in North Florida. You too can bid farewell to bothersome pests and invite serenity into your home. Just go to jaguars.com/sweepstakes and enter the SWAT That Kick contest for a chance to win 3 years of free pest control if the Jaguars block a field goal at home this season. Only from Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
All year long you'll be singing our song. Stay cooler with Bueller. At the head of our class we make it happen fast. Stay cooler with Bueller. For heating and air we always play fair. We make the difference cause we really care. Bueller Air. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hi, this is Travis Cummings of the Bailey Group, and I specialize in working with medium and large companies to ensure their employees get the best benefits possible.
This is Randy Wise of the Jacksonville Firefighters, and our team faces dangers daily. And there's nothing like the peace of mind knowing everyone has the backing of Travis Cummings and the Bailey Group. Our firefighters can count on Travis Cummings for exceptional coverage and retirement benefits.
Call me, Travis Cummings, at 461-1800, and I'll make sure your employees are well taken care of.
It's a fact. Cold weather kills car batteries. Make sure your battery is strong enough to withstand another winter. Have it tested for free at Batteries Plus. Need a replacement? We have plenty of options available from the industry's top brands. Plus, free battery installation in most vehicle makes and models, or upgrade to Premier installation for added protection. You'll also find jump starters, windshield wiper blades, and other winter auto essentials at your nearest location or online at batteriesplus.com.
Follow the Knowles climb back to ACC prominence.
Listen for the latest news and notes on the Knowles every week on the Seminole Report.
Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL.
Have you been thinking about selling your home and just think it's not the right time? You just see a lot of problems out there with getting it done? Let me send you to the problem solvers. That's Chad and Sandy at chadandsandy.com. If you want maximum equity from your home, but you're not sure how, Chad and Sandy are. Chad and Sandy go this far and make you this guarantee. They will sell your home or they will buy it. Carl and Diana in Argyle in Orange Park said, our dream was selling our home so we could travel full-time in our RV. We just had to sell our home for a big price to have the cash to do it right. We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio, hired them, and sold in 10 days at the highest sales price in the neighborhood. It's time to hit the road in style. And when it comes time to sell your home, sell it in style with Chad and Sandy. Go to chadandsandy.com right now and find out more. Or, as always, you can reach them via the phone lines at 904-414-6200. They are the agents we recommend. They're chadandsandy.com.
Welcome to Otterson Wealth Advisors of Raymond James, your local resource for financial know-how. The entire team is a symphony of knowledge, working harmoniously to orchestrate your financial dreams into reality. Experience the Otterson Wealth Advisors Advantage, where our expertise, empathy, and precision converge to craft a roadmap to your financial triumph. Visit OttersonAdvisors.com and let us turn your aspirations into achievements. Otterson Wealth Advisors, your goals, our expertise. Raymond James Associates, Inc., member New York Stock Exchange, SIPC.
Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Be here and be loud as the Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans Sunday, November 19th. Be at the bank for this divisional rivalry when Trevor Lawrence leads the team in an exciting matchup. Plus, join us as we celebrate Salute to Service and honor our military all game day long. Seats may be sold out, but a limited number of standing room only tickets are still available, so don't miss your chance to be there. Visit jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000 now.
Roland, 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 we're all calling Roland. The toilet's overflowing, oh my.
When hairballs, grease, and goo just won't let that water through, you need Roland Reach Plumbing by your side. When you have got a leak and you just can't wait a week, call 260-7059. Roland Reach Plumbing.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Welcome back to the program along with Hayes Carline here on location and R.J. Saunders back at World Headquarters. I'm Frank Frangie. Lauren Brooks has the week off. She'll be on a little camping trip, I think, and with her family, but it'll be good to have her back in a week from today. Meantime, we're here at the Atlantic Beach Country Club, part of the Boys and Girls Club Northeast Florida 8th Annual Mackenzie's Beaches Boys and Girls Club Golf Tournament. They raised a bunch of money and did a great job out here, and we're proud to be part of it. Also want to thank our friends from the Best Bet, the best place to go to have a big time. 3 great locations. That's St. Augustine right there off the interstate. There is, of course, the Jacksonville location on Monument, big, beautiful building, and Orange Park on US 17. No matter where you are in town, you can easily, and I mean easily, get to. Even if you're on that north side, man, you pop across the bridge, you are at that Best Bet location in Jacksonville. So if you can hear me now, you are close to a Best Bet, and it is a big, big time. All right, all 3 teams that we follow somewhat closely around here. Hayes played basketball tonight. The season opens. JU is open. All 3 open at home. JU's at home against Johnson. UNF is home against Coastal Georgia. Florida is at home against Loyola, Maryland. All will win. Those should be winnable games for all 3 teams, which is a great way to start. UNF has played that UNF never starts at home. So they finally start at home so the brutal schedule they play on the road, not quite as brutal as before. But here's the thing. Because we're in the portal era, which means players are coming and going, I follow all these programs relatively closely. All three. I follow JU, UNF, and Florida pretty closely in basketball because I care about all three programs. We do a number of shows from JU and UNF games. We always go when they play each other in the Rumble. I don't go to many Florida games. I just don't get the games very much, but I sure follow them closely. I know hardly anybody on the teams. I mean, I thought about this. I mean, on the UNF team, Dorian James, he's been around a while, 6'7" forward. Oscar Berry's one of the shooters, a more recent guy, but I remember both of them from last year. I just looked at the roster. That's about all I got on UNF. I looked at the JU roster. Bryce Workman comes back. He had the ACL last year. He was an ACL. He was out for the year last year. 6'7" forward. Giassi Powell, former Bishop Snyder player, a good 6'3" guard who had been kind of a sixth man, then started last year. I looked at the rest of the roster. That's all I got. Florida. I remember Kugel and Will Richard from last year's team. That's all I got. I just ran off 2 players from each team. I promise you 5 or 6 years ago, I could have given you all 3 rosters. I mean, I love college basketball, and I really care about JU and UNF, and I'm a big Florida fan. So I could have given you I'm you know me, I'm goofy with numbers and rosters and stuff. I could have run through every roster. I really only recognize, for the most part, I'm probably missing a guy here or there, but for the most part, I only recognize 2 guys from each team. Isn't that a crazy time in college athletics?
It is, and I would imagine pretty much every college basketball team is going through that massive amount of turnover. That's what I think is so remarkable is these basketball coaches want to have an identity. You know, everybody wants to have an identity, and to have to – it's one thing to recruit to that identity, recruit kids out of high school that you feel like will fit that identity, develop them into that, and then have them become a productive player for you in that model. It's really hard, I think, to do that now in the portal. Now, these coaches are going to try because they have very distinctive styles. Matthew Driscoll wants to shoot a lot of threes. You know, Coach Mincy wants to play phenomenal defense, and Coach Golden is looking for that offense. I mean, he's looking for everything, but particularly high octane, efficient offensive players, and that's what I think makes the coaching component so much more difficult, is to have to kind of try and piece it together every year about how you'd like to play. Now, sometimes you saw it last year with Todd Golden. Sometimes your hand is forced, and you have to play a certain basketball, certain style that doesn't really suit your philosophy, but it's the cards that you're dealt, whether through injury or what have you. But I'm really excited to see all 3 of these teams. I think JU is going to be physical, high-intensity defense. UNF is always a lot of fun to watch for, you know, the offense that they have and the threes they're going to put up. And Florida is really intriguing because, I mean, all the early buzz is that they've really got a team that can compete for, you know, top 5 in the SEC, which would be a nice step forward. They haven't really been much of a contender in the SEC for many years now. They've sort of been either middle of the road or even below that. So if Todd Golden can get them, you know, to finish 5th in the league in the regular season, as deep as the league is, that would be a guaranteed spot in the NCAA tournament. Probably is, you know, somewhere between a 7 and a 10 seed, I would think.
Yeah, and your take is right. I don't know these UNF guys, but they're going to all be able to shoot it. And I don't know the JU guys, but they're going to be in your face playing that tough-nosed defense.
That defense JU had 2 years ago?
Yeah.
In his first year?
Yeah, he couldn't get shots off.
Oh.
Yeah, you couldn't get shots off. So it'll be, but, and again, this isn't the coach's fault, by the way. These coaches.
It's the landscape.
It's the landscape we're in. But, I mean, I'm telling you, when I looked in preparation of this show, when I looked at those 3 rosters, I thought, I can't remember the last time that JU, UNF, and Florida, I looked at the 3 rosters, and I came up with 6 total play. Now, listen, I've read about the other guys. The Florida guys, I've read about Hen Lockton and Tyrese Samuel and Clayton. I mean, I know who they are because they were highly regarded portal guys. But, I mean, in terms of familiarity, how their play looks, there's just not very many guys, so it'll be interesting.
And you just have no idea. Like, I thought Omar Payne at JU
I thought he'd be so good.
Would, shatter records.
Yes. And by the way, here's what I can tell you about Omar Payne. All 3 he's now at UCF.
Yeah.
all three places he got to, all three, thought they had an NBA guy. I promise you, when he went to Florida, we all thought that he was a top 50 player.
Yeah.
He was a top 50 player in the country. 6'10", jumps out of a gym, good hands, good-looking shot. Never really worked hard at Florida. Didn't run. He had the one game against Auburn, but didn't do much. So he transferred to Illinois. I can promise you, because I know people at Illinois, I can promise you Illinois thought, wow, what are they getting? Never did much there. Transferred to JU. I promise you I know those people. And I talked to Jordan Mincy about him when he got him. They were so excited about what they thought he would be. I mean, JU was landing Omar Payne. We thought JU was landing a top 50 national player. The light never went on. From Mike Marsh dominated him in practice, the other 6'10" guy who now I think is at Kansas State, I think, but he transferred somewhere. But I remember thinking, wow, to your point. So he's at UCF now, and I'd be very surprised if he does anything now. It'd be the first time. He's older now. And by the way, not a nice kid, not a good student. They told me at JU, there's nothing. It's not bad kid, trouble, attitude. There were some effort issues, but it wasn't bad kid issues. It was just he good student, went to class, was good to have on campus, represented your program well. Just never became a very good player. And I'm with you, man. I thought Omar when Florida signed Omar Payne, Scotty Lewis, and Trey Mann in the same class, that's 3 top 50 guys, 2 McDonald's guys, and and another guy in the top 50. I thought Mike White was going to the promised land, didn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, all 3 of those guys, that's 3 top 50 guys, 2 top 15 guys, and Scotty Lewis never panned out. Omar Payne is at his 4th school.
I wonder what Scotty Lewis is even doing now.
Wasn't he in the league? I think he got drafted. And, RJ, do you know if Scotty Lewis is in the NBA or not? He probably hasn't played very much. Isn't he on a team in some capacity? Why did I think that? Do you know that?
Yeah, he last played with Charlotte. I think he's on a two-way deal with Greensboro, their affiliate.
Okay, there you go. I knew RJ would know that. It was Charlotte, wasn't it? And so he's now on one of those two-way deals. Very good. Nice work there. So, yeah. But he's a guy that I thought would be so good, so athletic. And Trey Mann's a good player. Trey Mann is a good NBA player. RJ, NBA folks surprised that Trey Mann's as good as he is, or is he pretty much what they expected?
I think there could be like a bit of a surprise that he's turned into such a solid rotational player. I mean, look, the Clippers weren't willing to let go of Trey Mann for James Harden. So I think that maybe, a star talent in the league, I don't know if anybody was expecting, but for him to be this solid rotational guy for a team that's looking to win a championship, I mean, there may be few that are surprised, but I don't think many are.
Yeah, good point. So anyway, those 3 guys. So, but I thought they had a chance. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll be doing a lot of games from JU. We'll be doing a lot of games. I think we're at UNF next week for a game. So I think we're going to be doing a lot of games at JU, a lot of games at UNF like we always are. I told you and Lauren this last week. Those are some of my favorite nights of the year. UNF, we go hang out in that hospitality area. Mm-hmm. I'll do the show from there. JU, we're over in that River House doing the show from there. Then we stick around and watch the basketball game afterwards. And if you haven't gone to a JU or UNF basketball game, you need to get over to one. I mean that very sincerely. They are both coaches are wonderful guys. If you know Matthew Driscoll's about as good a person as there is anywhere. Get to know Jordan Mincy. You're going to love him. If you haven't gone to I mean that very sincerely. Get out to a JU UNF game. I mean they're really fun. It's all hospitable. It's great energy in those 2 gyms.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so get out to see one of those games if you get an opportunity to. So and I will watch. I'll watch. I think they're all on the JU. They're all on the streaming services. I think in some capacity.
They are. And then what's going on with the A-Sun? So Liberty's out.
Liberty is
right,
out.
Who's been the behemoth?
I'm the wrong guy to ask.
But I'm trying to I think somebody else is now.
I'm gonna have to look it up because I don't. I should
in
know
there
that I know Liberty's no longer.
I think there's been some turnover.
There always is.
Yeah. But it helps that Liberty's not in there because they were.
Yeah.
They were really well funded compared to the other programs.
Well, that was the problem.
Yeah.
And everybody said that. I'm going to give it to you right now. Either I'm really smart or I just looked it up. The A-Sun, as soon as I find it. Hang on. I just lost it. Thank you for popping off.
Yeah, because Kennesaw was really good last year. And so I don't know if they brought back a lot of that team or if those guys moved on. They went from being really bad.
Yeah, so, I mean, here's your school. So, what, Austin Peay, Bellarmine, Central Arkansas, EKU, FGCU, Jacksonville, Kennesaw State, Lipscomb, North Alabama, North Florida, Queens, and Stetson.
Yeah, that's exactly. I found.
Is Austin Peay new?
I think they were in it last year.
They were, okay.
But you're right. Liberty is out. North Alabama is still in. Somebody else left. I was thinking it might be North Alabama. But a lot of teams have cycled through there. Northern Kentucky cycled through there. Jacksonville State cycled through. Remember that? They all cycled through it. So thank you, RJ, for that. RJ ran through them. Austin P. Bellarmine, Central Arkansas, Eastern Kentucky, Gulf Coast, JU, UNF, Kennesaw State, Lipscomb, North Alabama, Queens, and Stetson. So, yeah, it changes a lot. But to your point, where you're going with the point is, nobody was going to be able to compete with Liberty. Heck, they can't. They're beating everybody in football.
Right.
I mean, even with Hugh Freeze gone, they're like undefeated in football.
Yeah.
So in a better league. So no one was going to be able to compete with them. But their budget was so much bigger in every sport than everybody else's. Now this is a sport. This is a league now where everybody should be able to compete. Now Bellarmine's pretty good. Bellarmine, because they're in Louisville. And they're around all that good Louisville basketball, so and that Kentucky basketball and Southern Indiana basketball. So anyway, JU at home tonight against Johnson, UNF at home tonight against Coastal Georgia, the Gators at home tonight against Loyola Maryland.
What's a fair expectation in your opinion for Todd Golden in year 2?
I would think number one, I would be disappointed if they're not in the tournament. I think that's number one in a program of Florida size. That's always a fair expectation. I don't think. They should never miss the tournament. And I'm passionate about that. They should never miss the tournament. After that, year 2, a lot of transfers in. Get you to 20 wins. I think expecting anything more than a 6 or 7 seed is probably thinking too much. I think you're satisfied with an 8 seed. You know what I mean, in the tournament, because that means you're one of the 32 best teams. 35 best teams if you're not 36 best teams, you're a 9 seed. I think that's fair. Win 20 games, finish in the upper division of the SEC, get to a 6 or 7 seed in the tournament. I think that's fair. What about you? That's a great question.
No, I think it's fair. I'd like to see top 5 finish in the SEC where you're playing some meaningful games in terms of contention. 2 or 3 weeks left in the schedule. I'd like no drama on Selection Sunday.
Yeah.
You're in,
right.
to your point. If you're an 8-9 seed, you're in.
Yeah.
You're just worried about what seed and pod and where you're going and who you're going to face. So no drama on Selection Sunday. And, this has nothing to do with the team in terms of, X's and O's and stuff. But can they finally have a year where they're healthy?
Yeah, well, that's right.
Could they finally have a year where the Florida basketball team doesn't lose 3 important players in the first game of the season?
And I will tell you this. There's a side of me that says they really think they're good this year because they think that the new guys, the Pullen, who's going to be suspended, they think is a really good player. Clayton, the point guard from St. Bonaventure, a really good player. Hen Logton, the 7'1" guy. Tyrese Samuel's a 6'10" guy that transferred from Xavier, I think. They have all these. They think, wow, they got really good players. Well, number one, you hear that every year. Number two, if they were that good, they'd be in the NBA. They wouldn't be transferring late in their careers to another college. So they're not that good. But there's intrigue because there's so much newness. I will be pretty locked in tonight. I will be locked in tonight watching it on ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
So just to see, and of course you can hear it here on 1010 a.m. We'll take a break. 1 segment to go. We'll wrap the program after this on a Monday. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update, brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Halfway through the NFL season, the betting favorite to win Super Bowl 58 are the Kansas City Chiefs. They are plus 490 to repeat as champions, coming off a win against Miami and Frankfurt, Germany. The Philadelphia Eagles, who have the best record in the NFL with only 1 loss, they are plus 500 to win the Lombardi Trophy. San Francisco, they've lost 3 in a row, coming off a bye week. They are plus 600. Well, the Baltimore Ravens, who sit at 7-2, they are 850 to win the championship. The Dallas Cowboys are plus 1100. They're coming off a loss to Philadelphia. And the Miami Dolphins are at plus 1200. This update brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010 XL.
Hey, hon, water is coming out of the bottom of the kitchen faucet instead of the top.
The bottom of the faucet?
Yeah.
Do you mean the faucet is leaking?
Well, yeah, that's another way to put it.
I think we should call Duck Duck Rooter.
Duck Duck Rooter. However you describe your plumbing problem, we have your solution. Duck Duck Rooter.
proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
904-862-6769.
I had a question about my insurance the other day, so I called my new State Farm agent. And would you believe I talked to the same person who remembered my name? They said that was called service. And then they asked if my dog Max was over his cold. They called that service too. And then they helped me find ways to save on my home and auto coverage. I asked State Farm what they called that. They said service.
Call State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst in St. Augustine at 940-9740.
Upgrade your home with a winning combination of style and performance with custom windows and patio doors. For a limited time, buy one window or patio door and get one 40% off. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. This offer expires November 30th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Anderson, proud to be the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Make a crucial catch against colon cancer. Hicken here for the Borland Groover Foundation. If you're 45 or older, the ball is in the red zone to get screened. The key to surviving colon cancer, early detection and prevention. 45 is the new 50. Get screened for colon cancer now. The Borland Groover Foundation is a nonprofit organization devoted to building a healthy and equitable community that is free from colon cancer. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. I recorded this only 3 days after starting Awaken 180, and the results are startling. 7 pounds gone in 3 days. I chatted with Mike Dempsey about the results, and he's like, I told you. He dropped 25 pounds in just over a month. I certainly have more than 25 pounds to lose, but with the results I'm having so far, I'll reach my goal in no time. The program is pretty much dummy-proof. My words, not Awakening 180s, of course. And why is it dummy-proof? It's because my coach, Sarah, does all the work. She built a plan based on my body, my habits, my taste buds for that matter, and all I do is follow it. I'm eating to lose weight, and it's a game changer. Stay tuned because these results will continue until I drop my pounds. If you're in the same boat I was, wishing the weight away, make the call. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
He was a first-team All-SEC wide receiver.
Hit me, I'm open.
Former Gator Chris Doering joins Dan and Jeff on The Drill, Tuesday mornings on 1010XL. Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carline from MyBookie. Football is in full force. We're having so much fun with our friends from MyBookie. Again, sign up for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL. They're going to give you a welcome bonus up to $1,000. It's a phenomenal offer to get you started with a fantastic website. The MyBookie Casino is first rate as well. Again, use promo code 1010XL. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carline from MyBookie. Football is in full force. We're having so much fun with our friends from MyBookie. Again, sign up for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL. They're going to give you a welcome bonus up to $1,000. It's a phenomenal offer to get you started with a fantastic website. The MyBookie Casino is first rate as well. Again, use promo code 1010XL. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at jaguars.com/shadows. One winner a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit jaguars.com. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting! Is your vehicle in need of some TLC?
Bring it to the experts at Tire Outlet. With over 40 years of experience and 15 locations across Florida, Tire Outlet is the brand you can trust. Our certified technicians do the job right to get you in and out in no time flat. Hurry in for great deals on tires and automotive service. We offer free tire rotations, free brake inspections, rebate offers on brand name tires, and a legendary price match guarantee on every set of brand new tires. Tire Outlet, wholesale prices, premium service.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars great Josh Scobie was a guest this morning of The Drill and spoke about what he thinks of the Jags at 6-2.
The future looks really bright for this team because there's a lot of young players. They're playing well. The defense is fun to watch. And what I've been telling people, for the past 8 games that they've played, is that the team really hasn't put together a full, 100% effort, flawless game, and they're still 6-2. So that's a really good sign.
Former Jaguars kicker Josh Scobie this morning on The Drill. It's a huge game at the bank on Sunday. Jaguars 49ers. Kickoff at 1 o'clock right here on 1010XL. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
First and goal, wide open. It's Green for the Arkansas touchdown. And corralled after gain of 8, and the ball comes out, and the Hogs have it. Touchdown, Razorbacks.
When we get down 14-0, then we have to fight our way back into that thing.
Mertz thinking about it, unloads deep. Pearsall has it. Pearsall, touchdown. ETN again. He's going to score. Gators back in front.
In that game, I thought we competed, and we showed a lot of fight.
Jefferson takes off again. KJ Jefferson, touchdown Arkansas. Jefferson, end zone for the win. Touchdown Hogs.
I think he's a terrific player. Unique in his ability to throw, but also his ability to take off. There's a lot of blame to be spread out. In this game in particular, I think we're going to look back at all parts of our team.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Great work, RJ, putting that together. That was the
absolutely
ignominious loss by the Gators to Arkansas. I think Hayes has one more thought about it.
Now, Hammer Time with Hayes. Brought to you by Golden Hammer Roofing and Gutters. The Golden Standard in Roofing.
By the way, RJ, I'm now thinking about Phoebe Cates and Fast Time, so well done there as well. So getting back to this utter embarrassment that was this loss to Arkansas, I want to go through the coaching failures that Billy Napier had. And I'll tell you one thing that we've talked about, the burning the 2 timeouts. We've certainly talked at length about the chaos with bringing the field goal unit on. In a time where all you got to do is clock the ball and you're kicking a 39-yard field goal to win the game, and instead you get a legal substitution. I'm going to tell you another aspect of the program that's really troubling, and it's been a theme throughout the year, is Florida cannot figure out that you're allowed to play with 11 men on special teams plays. They have consistently had 10 or fewer players on the field during special teams plays, and it happened again Saturday. They had 10 men on a field goal block, and I'm going to tell you this, Billy Napier is lucky Arkansas didn't call for a fake, because Sam Pittman admitted in his post-game presser.
You were in there.
I was in there, and as he was talking about the week, because Arkansas had lost 6 straight. So a lot of the questions were, how did you get guys motivated to stick together and play at a high level in the swamp? And Pittman kind of went through the things that they had, and he said, we really had a fake field goal that we felt great about all week, but I just never felt like in the game it was the right time to call it. Well, Billy Napier is lucky that Sam Pittman didn't call for the fake on him only having 10 guys on the field goal block. And I'll tell you this, it's happened in multiple games this season for Florida because they don't have a special teams coordinator. They don't have anybody that can count to 11 when the special teams is out there. And if I was LSU and Missouri and Florida State, I would get a fake field goal ready for the Gators, because at some point, they have shown this all year, at some point they're going to come out there with 10 men or fewer. And when they come out there with 10 men or fewer and you run a fake, you're probably going to get it. And that is a mistake that Billy Napier may not be able to come back from, because it has happened time and time again, and it is yet to cost him. Could have cost him Saturday with Pittman. I guarantee you it will. This is going to get out there. And Brian Kelly and Eli Drinkowitz and Mike Norvell, they're going to look at this and say, these guys can't even get 11 on the field for a field goal block. It's happened all year. We are going to run a fake field goal, and if that happens and it costs Florida a game, I shudder to think what's going to happen to the Billy Napier era at Florida.
2 or 3 thoughts, by the way, on your theory. Number 1, great hammer time. Number 2, so you can use 11 on special teams too.
Yes,
Okay,
there's no caveat there.
I didn't know that. And thirdly, here's the only problem with Drinkwitz, Kelly, or Norvell needing.
They're not going to need a
up 24-3. You probably save it for the bowl.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Well done. Hey, let me tell you this too. Do me a favor, okay? You know Florida football, okay? Okay, you do. Tell me off the top of your head the 3 or 4 best analysts he's hired. And while you're thinking about them, and when you realize you don't know the names,
I have no idea.
While you realize that
I can tell you it's not Chris Couch.
Well, but hang on. While you realize you don't, I'm being serious about this. The reason you don't know any of the names, or I don't know any of the names, I'm assuming Billy knows the names, is because Nick Saban brings in Bill O'Brien and Charlie Strong and Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian. NFL teams bring in Bob Sutton like the Jags have, and Dom Capers, and pick your guy, Monty Kiffin back in the day. You go get veteran coaches who have been around, who can analyze what you're doing because they've seen football all their lives.
Right.
Billy's got a bunch of young guys that help him recruit and that have learned from him, rather than veteran guys from whom he can learn. That's a big flaw in the staff.
That's a great point.
That's go get guys.
Who's the oldest guy on their staff?
I don't even know, because I don't know the staff.
Yeah.
But they're young guys that are good recruiters. By the way, I don't mind having 80% of that. But you have to have some of the veteran guys. Nick Saban, who's a 7-year-old guy that knows a little bit about football, always brings in Sark, O'Brien, Charlie Strong, Lane Kiffin. He always brings that guy in because he's gleaning knowledge from them, because he doesn't think he knows all of it. He's secure enough to bring in a guy who's really smart. And I think that's really important. And again, I don't pretend to know. I couldn't tell you one analyst in Florida. And so bring in veteran so who can help you with things that it's clear now you don't know.
Well, and it's again, this is, word around the campfire stuff, but there is a belief that Billy Napier had conversations with Joe DeCamillis in the offseason about coming to help the special teams.
To be an analyst.
And Joe DeCamillis, one of the best NFL special teams assistants that we've seen
ever.
Right. And it didn't work out and I have no idea why.
He's now at Texas.
He's at Texas.
Yeah.
Well, that was a big loss.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he lives in Ponte Vedra.
Yeah.
So how do you land in Austin when you live an hour and 10 minutes from the campus there?
Yeah.
So
I mean, again, that could have been the difference in 2 wins this year.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Very good.
Yeah. Let's do some takeaways, RJ.
Now, today's takeaways, brought to you by Key Buick GMC, where our family dealership has been helping families buy vehicles for over 50 years.
My takeaway is what a week of build-up we're going to have for the San Francisco 49ers coming to face the Jaguars, 2 of the best teams in the NFL, both coming off bye weeks. Both will be fresh. No excuses on either side. And it's going to be fantastic to see how the Jaguars measure up.
All right, let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Keeping the sports world spinning with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
Rick, it's Jags 49ers week
Yeah.
after that bye week. I'm kind of looking forward to that thing, man. That's a marquee game here.
Yeah, it really is, and it's interesting. Last week, during the bye, I ranked the remaining games 1 through 9, which I thought were the most difficult for the Jaguars, and I actually had this team here, San Francisco, as that opponent, and they're favored by 2.5, 3 points here in Jacksonville, yet they've lost 3 in a row, and they've got some serious injuries that they're going to be monitoring this week, along, obviously, the Jaguars are going to be doing the same, but yeah, you look at it that way, it's kind of interesting.
You have this as the toughest of the 9, Rick? Is that
I
what you're
did,
saying?
yeah, and as a matter of fact, my 3 toughest games are all home games with
Yeah, the
Cincinnati.
Ravens and the Bengals.
Yeah, isn't that
Yeah.
what other team in the NFL? And I haven't crunched it, to know, but it's just bizarre to say with 9 games remaining, the 3 most difficult for Jacksonville are at home, and as we know, they're 4-0 on the road. If you include that second game in London, that's 5-0 away from Duval this year.
Yeah, and see, I completely agree with you. I probably have the Ravens first, but I completely agree with you. Those are the 3 toughest. And here's why, Rick. Tell me if you agree with this. Because the Jags are no longer a team that's going to lose just because they're on the road or they're going to get beat when they're not supposed to. I think they're better than all those other 6. I don't know that they're not better than the 49ers, Bengals, and the Ravens, but they may not be. But they're better than the other 6, which is why we feel that way, don't you think?
Yeah, no doubt. And Cincinnati, I mean, they really struggled early, but they're getting hot here at the right time. There's a lot of football left. And, watching them again last night, they still may be the most difficult out of them all. And, Jacksonville, I want to say, has won something like 13 out of their last 17 or 14 out of their last 18, something crazy like that. But, obviously 3 of those losses have come at the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, I'm going to do this with you. We're going to have handoffs with you all week long. I'm going to do this all week long, so go quickly here. But let's start with the first one. Your first most memorable FSU Miami game. What's first? I want the one that's first. Real quick.
It was my freshman year, 87. They're up 19-3 in the fourth quarter. You got 2 Hall of Famers on the field, Deion Sanders and Leroy Butler, yet it's Tracy Sanders covering Michael Irvin. And they went up 26-19. Florida State scored with no time left. 26-25. In 1987, there was no overtime. Bobby Bowden went for 2. It was a pass from Danny McManus to Pat Carter. It was knocked down by Bubba McDowell, and defensive back coach Dave Campo was jumping up and down with Jimmy Johnson.
I remember it well. All right, very good.
That's
well
it.
done. We're going to ask you for another one on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, too. What's coming up tonight?
Well, we're going to bring on my former Miami Hurricane defensive back coach in about 25 minutes and talk to Dave Campo. I have not had a chance on air to really talk with Dave since the season has begun. So everything that's going on with this football team, we'll do that in about 25 minutes. Got a lot of college football we're going to get towards as well.
Sounds good, Rick. Thanks, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Rick Ballou goes into the night. That'll do it for our program here. I do want to thank the folks from Atlantic Beach Country Club and the Boys and Girls Club of the Beach for having us out to their wonderful golf tournament. I mean that very sincerely. And, of course, to our friends from the Best Bet. Always the Best Bet Monday. We're out here tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. For Hayes, the absent Lauren, and for RJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.
We got a great show for you today.
Join the 1010XL Podcast Network.
A big show.
Now you can find all your favorite 1010XL podcasts in your platform of choice.
A king-size show.
Mia here. Believe it or not, the holidays are a-coming. So why not make the trip to Grandma's house in style and comfort with a little help from my friends at